Hello everyone, welcome back to another Tomato Sauce stream. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of yapping, a little bit of chatting. We did just get the world's announcement for Yu-Gi-Oh, which is pretty cool. Obviously that includes Duel Links, which is obviously what we all do. We're also going to be taking a look at the new Rush Duel card that did get revealed. It's only the one card, but it is what it is. We also want to have a quick look at some tournament results, as well as just a quick look at what we did in the last stream, which was going over our box predictions for Maddox's box, which we assume is going to come out with him just after the KC Cup. We also are going to be doing our Husbando tier list. So, you know, we'll kind of go over that a bit more when we get to it. But there is a weird thing when it comes to that, which is, first off, right, I am not, like, without, like, going too much into, like, some specifics, I am not, attracted to male Yu-Gi-Oh characters, let's say. So this is going to be an interesting tier list. We're probably going to be doing it mostly based on, like, Chad energy and going from there, as well as a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh characters are quite young. So again, we're going to have to kind of, you know, all behave. You know, we're all adults here, rating, you know, anime characters that play children's card games. So that is completely fine. Just don't read too much into it, okay? We're going to all get through this. We're going to get through it. And to be honest, the reason I wanted to do this was because last stream, we just yapped for like an hour just about the different anime series. And I really enjoyed that. I think just gushing and getting nostalgic over like really good TV is fun. I like that, especially like we're all Yu-Gi-Oh players here. We're all like-minded individuals. I think everyone enjoys doing that a little bit. And we were joking about doing a Husbando Tier List, and so now the joke is just going to become a reality. That's just kind of where we're at. And then if we have time afterwards, we will also be doing some KC Cup. I have done a little bit of KC Cup. I have been enjoying it. Playing the Maids obviously is very, very fun. And when you can dodge the kind of yikes decks, right? So today, for example, I played against someone who was playing just a mill deck, like a really bad, you know, awful mill deck. And it's kind of like, it's a non-game, right? Because you're easily going to beat it. You're never going to lose to it. It's just wasting time. But I get it, right? If you're like very, very free to play, you have very limited time, you don't know how to play any of the modern decks, like stun, burn, stall, those kind of decks are going to seem more appealing. So I get it, but like, ugh. And then obviously the other like issue, I guess, is playing against top tier decks. If you're playing against Heroes, Salamangreat, you're probably not going to have a great time. Now, a lot of those decks are still beatable, especially in the hands of people at like low ranks, but like it's still an uphill struggle. But let's see who we have in the chat. We have Dragson, who is here. Welcome on in, Dragson. We have Sakadetsu first. Hello, Mr. Tomato. Hello, Sakadetsu. We have the Dr. Alex, my partner in crime. Welcome on in, my friend. Ah, yes, yapping stream. Every stream is a yapping stream. Just some of them have more or less gameplay to go along with the yapping. That's basically it. We have Monosync in the chat doing Husbando Tier List, but Hikari is not here to watch. Yes, Hikari said that she was busy this morning. I don't know exactly what she is doing, but you never know, she might catch the end. If nothing else, the VOD will always be there, so she can always go back and watch it if that's something she wants to do. We have Neighbor Sans. Welcome on in. We're all a hive mind over a children's card game. Basically, it's one of those things where I like to think of myself as a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! The franchise, right? I like the show. I like the card game. I like Master Duel. I like TCG. I like Duel Links. I like Rush. I like Speed. And by that goes over to physical speed as well. I also really like physical speed. I liked Cross Duel. When that was a game, I really liked Cross Duel. It was flawed, but I still really liked it. I like the manga. I haven't read a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga, but what I have read was really good. I really like Dungeon Dice Monsters. I like Capsule Monsters. I liked, as weird as it sounds, I did kind of like the Capsule Monsters anime, even though it was a bit crap. But like, even though I realized it was bad, I still enjoyed watching it, right? I like Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the all-encompassing umbrella that is Yu-Gi-Oh! I've always been a big fan. So, you know, sometimes we don't have to just always play the game 100% of the time. Sometimes we'll just yap about it with like-minded individuals that also like to yap about it. That's what we do. And hello, Gelato Gaga. Welcome on in. So, I guess we'll jump straight in. Because the first thing I really want to talk about is we do have the World Championship 2025 announcement, which is pretty cool. So, obviously, they had some footage. They're showing some of the TCG. Then they show some Master Duel, which is, to be expected. They're the two, flagship games. But then we get to see our boys, right? We get to see Quantum. We get to see Xiaomi, both of our Duel Links professionals, the Rush Duel World Champion. And don't forget, Rush Duel is only in a couple of countries. So they don't really have a Worlds, right? The closest thing we have to Rush Worlds is the Galaxy Cup for physical, which is not Worlds, realistically. It's the closest thing you're going to get to it, but it's not Worlds. And this. So Quantum is the only ever Rush Duel World Champion, which is actually kind of cool to think of, right? Until we get this follow-up tournament, he will still be the only Rush Duel World Champion. Imagine he does it back-to-back. He would, for 2 years running, be the only Rush Duel World Champion. That would be so, so good. But then we got Xiaomi. Xiaomi, obviously, absolutely fantastic player. Did really, really well in speed. There's not really much more to say. Everyone knows Xiaomi. I don't need to gas Xiaomi up. Y'all know who Xiaomi is. You all know how good Xiaomi is. Xiaomi also was a big Rush player for a long period of time. I believe Xiaomi has stopped focusing on Rush. But even back in the day, Xiaomi would enter a lot of tournaments with Aqua, Bubble Era, after it was kind of considered kind of weak, and still topping, and in some cases, I can't remember if he won a tournament with Bubble Era, but he definitely was topping a ridiculous amount, definitely hitting those top 8s, sometimes top 4s. So, definitely still a really strong player, who was basically just a tourist in Rush, right? And then we obviously got the 3 Master Duel players, including Jesse Cotton. We got our TCG World Champion. And I almost feel like this is the line of importance, right? So obviously for Konami, they care about TCG the most. That's their their biggest importance. They've got that on the far right. Then Master Duel is the one that they have the second most importance on, right? And then third is going to be Duel Links. And then even fourth is still going to be Rush Duel and Duel Links. I feel like that's making them probably the least amount of money, so it's what they care about the least, which is a bit of a shame. But it was cool to see this, and we get to see all of our boys. And I think that was the only time... We'll have to watch the rest of this quick. It's only a couple minutes long. But I think, yeah, that was the only time we got to see anything to do with Duel Links. We're seeing Xiaomi and Quantum on stream. It's funny as well, because although that's probably the level of importance Konami puts on them, I actually have it in the exact reverse order, right? I'm a Rush guy, so Rush is the most important to me. Then, I personally know Xiaomi, really nice guy, and Duel Links is a game I play all the time. Now, would I play Duel Links if it wasn't for Rush? Realistically, probably not, but I got back into playing the speed version of Duel Links because of Rush, right? Then, for me, it's then Master Duel, because I am more likely to play Master Duel, and I have played it, right? Not so much recently, but I have played it quite a lot. And then the least most important to me is actually the physical TCG, because getting a physical deck is kind of a pain, then I'd have to find the locals again. It's just realistically not going to happen. So I just think it's funny how it's reversed in order, right? Konami have their order, and mine is the exact opposite. But next up, we have our new Rush card. We only have only the one new Rush card. And this is Guitar Fist Speedy Mix. So this is a new Psychic card, which first off, the art is quite nice, right? This is good art, right? When is Rush art bad, realistically? But it's level 4, Dark Psychic, 1200 attack. This card's name is treated as Guitarist, or Giftarist, while it's in the graveyard. Okay. Effect, send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard, then you can make all face-up monsters on your field gain 500 attacks times the number of companions in your graveyard. So, it's nothing insane, but it will be nice for the kind of Prima retrain deck, where we did get the kind of Prima rerun support. So, nothing super insane, but it's nice to have, right? It's nice to have. Poor Quantum still don't get his reward. Well, he got a lot of stuff, but he hasn't got what was it, the actual card, right? The Rush, the English Rush card, I think is the only thing he didn't get. Beyond that, it's one of those things where Konami, I think, is notoriously bad for that sort of thing. A lot of people are still waiting for their Challenger Cup stuff from, the very first Challenger Cups. I'm still waiting for my Challenger Cup prize. Like, one of these days it will show up, but I'm not expecting it anytime soon. So the next thing we'll do is talk a little bit about the tournament scene, because we did have a couple of tournaments. We did have the... What was RDR? This was... Rush Duel Links Dynasty? So Rush... Did I write this down right? Duel Links Dynasty. So it should be DLD. I'm trying to remember exactly what this was. As in, like, how it was titled, is what I'm trying to remember. Let's find out quick, so we can make sure this is accurate. Rush Duel Dynasty. So it should be RDD, not RDR. Okay, so Rush Duel Dynasty. We did see Psychic win. Psychic in second, and then Dragon. Nothing too surprising. And then we did get the Cloudy Cup Rush Weekly, or Cloudy City Rush Weekly, where we did see dragons take the top spot, which is now, this is becoming a thing, right? We've now had 3 dragons recently actually doing quite well, which is pretty nuts. Psychic again in the top 4. I mean, we're basically seeing a trend here. Most of the time, it's Dragon Fusion, Psychic Fusion in the top cut, or in the top 4. We have seen, like, you know, Light Galaxy, Red Boot, creeping in, Matari and Cyber Dragon, Coin Tech. This is still really funny. But we're still basically seeing the same kind of decks. And if we go down and take a look at the top 4 points, like these big sections of the pie chart, the old, the Psychic and the Dragon Fusion, they're getting bigger, right? They're basically getting even bigger. It's not looking great for the rest of them. I mean, they're still hanging in, right? It's only, you know, just over 75% of the meta is these 2 decks. But again, if we do expand that to top 8, it does get a little bit better, right? Because this is now just under 75%. So that's at least something. The card and the trophy is the most important, and they're still messed up. Arguably, they're the least important, right? Because you can't do anything with them other than look at them or show them off or display them. But I do understand what you're saying. I do definitely understand what you're saying. Less level 7s needed for V-Friend deck. Yeah, basically. Rush Duel Dynasty 10. Thank you, Monosync. I now have 2 top 8 with heroes in a week. Yes, you do, Manicus. Very, very good job there. We go. You got E-Hero and E-Hero. You got to keep this up. You, on your own, have managed to make E-Hero go above Dark Galaxy, which means, Manicus, you, by yourself, and your solo efforts are keeping Dark Galaxy down and have bumped them down a space on the spreadsheet, which is actually really cool, because Hikari will absolutely hate that. So that's actually really funny. So I'm quite happy that you've done that. I really like Heroes. I think Heroes is a really cool deck. Dragon Fusion is very strong for sure. Definitely. Hello, Ursus, by the way. Welcome on in. Dragon Fusion is pretty nutty, right? If we look at top 4 points, it's only 4 points behind Psychic Fusion. It's almost a little bit weird that people were saying, like, Dragon is like a whole tier beneath Psychic. And I look at this and I'm like, I don't know, man. Is it a whole tier? Like, results-wise, it's keeping up. Like, I don't think this gap is enough to drop a whole tier personally, but it is what it is. Mirror Gears getting its fusion definitely helped the deck. It was basically the one card as well. Like, nothing else really changed. Now, there is some caveats to that, right? Like, the strongest version of Dragon Fusion we had before Mirror Gears came out, or Mirror Gear Star, was basically just playing 3 bosses, occasionally a 4th. And the issue that the deck had would be that you would basically sit there and stall until you got everything going. Which meant either you'd have a lot of turns of nothing and hope you don't die, or you would draw all your bosses at once and kind of be like, I can't really do anything with this. But because of the inclusion of Mirror Gears, it's meant, 1, we have more bosses to draw into that actually get our combo going, as well as you can use its effect to unbrick your hand if you have, like, just an extra boss that you don't want. And I don't want to take it away from Star Replacer either, because Star Replacer also is absolutely fantastic for the deck. It's just an extra tool that you can use to, like, unbrick your hand a lot of the time. So Dragon Fusion, I guess, is arguably 2 cards, but those 2 cards have, like, really expanded how the deck works. It makes it a lot more consistent. It makes it less brick prone. Like, Those just couple of cards did so much for this deck. And that's not even, by the way, talking about the power of Mirror Gear Star itself. That's not even talking about the OTK potential it now has. That's not talking about the 3000 direct attack. That's just about consistency. Which, when it does that, it's so good. It's just so good in every way. So good in every way. Dragon Fusion being top tier means it's Jova for Santa. Kind of. So, I was talking to Giorfio a bit, and I think he was saying that he has a pretty good matchup into the Dragons. But I think you have to play... So, the issue that I had with Santa Mil is if you make the slightest misplay, it is so punishing. You have to really pilot the deck perfectly. Making, like, one tiny error can just immediately lose you the game, where most other decks don't have that. Don't get me wrong, making mistakes will oftentimes just cost you the game. But Santa Mil almost feels like it is completely unrecoverable if you make a mistake. So it's a little bit awkward. It's never over for Santa, believe it. Always believe. I guess Metarian fell off a bit. I mean, yeah, it's still the third best deck. It's just not these two decks, right? I think Metarian has the issue where it has a really bad matchup into the Dragons. And you'd probably be sat there like, oh, well, Metarian, you can make Vitristar. Vitristar can just pop Dragons for free. It's like, well, one, high Dragons aren't Dragons. And two, when the Dragon deck gets aggressive, it absolutely shuts you down so quickly. Where the Metarian deck oftentimes plays like the old Dragon Fusion deck, where you need a few turns. You need to stabilize a little bit. You need to just draw into a few combo pieces. You're going to set 3 monsters for 1, maybe 2 turns, and then you're going to start doing your stuff. Now that's too slow. Like, these decks are just, they're too quick at just absolutely bullying you while you do that. I still think Metarian's not actually that bad into Psychic Fusion. I don't think they're, like, favored, but it's not awful into Psychic. But it is absolutely awful into Dragon Fusion. That's how kind of I look at the meta at the moment. I will keep believing. Next copy soon. It would be nice to get more copies. I'm still actually waiting for the Clean Skatir, Wash Sprayer the Clean Skatir. I want that and Bleach Mortar, but we're still no sign of them. I could take or leave Colonel Mop. Colonel Mop's kind of whatever, but like I really want Wash Skatir. But again, it's a card that would have seen play 4 months ago. And now I'm just like, I don't think it's going to, right? It had to come out like at the very least, pre-Go Rush, maybe even pre-Fusion. Or I suppose Go Rush was Fusion, so... Sup. Also, can Dragons stop being good? Hello, Kurosama. I don't think that's going to happen. Even if, for whatever reason, Dragon Fusion died off, a different Dragon deck would rise to take its place. That's just kind of what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. Dragons will never be bad. They'll just, like, sometimes not be the best. That's just Yu-Gi-Oh! Right? That's just Yu-Gi-Oh! Next copy will be crazy for sure. I'll try getting top 4 in Quantum with Heroes later. I mean, I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it. Metarian not being able to have easy access to Fusion does put it at a disadvantage compared to Psychics and Dragons. Yes, 100%. The trade-off is supposed to be that they have basically 6 copies of Imaginary Actor, and then the rest of the deck is basically all just gas or like fusion material to make something. You just don't always get to choose what you make because, you know, I want a Shura Star, but I don't have a Sword Dancer. It's like, you can still make Hercules or Ritra, just like, but I want a Shura Star and he's not here, right? So that's one issue. The other, like, thing that's meant to, like, offset that is the fact that Reactor does give you the draw too, and the skill does let you put the Monster Reincarnation into the graveyard. If you just hard draw Monster Reincarnation, you can get 4 draws off of it as well, which is really, really good. But you're still basically gambling. It's like saying, I have a lot of draw power that can get me into what I want, but also it could get me nothing. So whereas the other fusion skills are like, all right, here you go, here's what you need, and in exchange, your bosses are kind of expensive to get out, Metarian goes, all right, your stuff's really cheap to get out, but you have to play the mystery game. Are you going to get what you need? Are you not going to get what you need? Let's find out. So I think if Metarian just draws really well every game, it's still going to be absolutely fantastic, but we don't live in that world. They don't get easy access to all of their combo pieces like a lot of these other decks do. So it's just like, deal with it, I guess. Like, I love dragons, don't get me wrong, but just them ruining the variety is the problem. It's a issue that we have always had, especially in Rush. A little bit in Speed, right? Because there have been plenty of Speed metas where everyone's basically playing the same decks, and that goes for ladder and tournaments. But it's a less pronounced issue in Speed, I feel, because the game mode has been out for so long. There is such a much larger card pool that you are just going to see a bit more variety. Rush, there isn't that much variety right now. Like, realistically, there's like 20 decks, and like 15 of them are bad. Or like, at least like, I don't know, maybe there's like 30 decks. It depends if we count like old versions of decks that have been updated. But like, most of them are just straight up bad. Like, you're not going to see Aqua topping a tournament, right? You're not going to... I mean, let's jump back in time, right? Heavy Strike Excavator. You're not going to see Thunder doing very much anymore. You're not going to see Vulcan doing very much. Buster Blader isn't going to be doing a lot. We haven't seen Blue Eyes in a while, but Blue Eyes can probably still, like, keep up. Just not very well. I mean, Dynamix, bro. Like, there's so many of these decks that are just not sick. Harpies hasn't seen playing God knows how long. Rebels is a deck we haven't seen in ages. Noodle Ninjas. There are just so many of these decks that exist, but they're just so weak compared to the stronger decks. So, although you could argue, oh, there is the potential for variety, if they're not realistically anywhere near the top decks, it's always going to be like that. So, in Rush specifically, we have had metas where it's just been, oh, everyone's playing Dragiest deck. On ladder especially, we've had like, oh, everyone's playing Overlord. Oh, everyone's playing Blue Eyes. Oh, everyone's playing Cyber Dragon. And now we're kind of in that, oh, everyone's playing Dragon Fusion. And I feel like people just jump from whatever like the free-to-play really strong deck is, and they just keep like hopping between them. Same with Psychics. It makes the format less interesting as someone who loves Rush for being more varied on paper than Speed. Yeah, it's one of those weird, like, it's almost an oxymoron, right? Because in the OCG, at this stage that we're at now, there was like no diversity whatsoever. So in Rush Duel Links, there is more diversity right now than there would have been. Realistic. I mean, like, if you ask like the real, like, people that were really into the OCG at the time, they'll tell you there was plenty of decks to play, but like, none of them were really seeing play, right? It was like people building weird shit for the sake of being weird rather than actually intending to like win a tournament. I do kind of hope Noodle Ninjas get some of their fusion support in the upcoming mini box. I do as well. So we did talk about this last time on stream. We were like predicting what we thought could be in the next box. We basically came to the conclusion that we didn't think the Noodle Fusion stuff would be in the box because it would basically either take up slots where there could be Manabu or Maddox specific cards. So, for example, you know, we know Chemicalized Salamander is going to be a UR, right? So this other UR slot down here would either be an extra card specifically for Maddox, or it's going to be some generic Pyro support, is what we would like predicting. So, like, if this was the Noodle Fusion, I feel like it would almost overshadow Chemicalized Salamander. And I think that's something that Konami don't want to do. So as much as I would absolutely love it if we could get Meat Spice, I don't think we're going to, which is really sad. I think they'll probably save it for like a deck build or like a super mini or something like coming up shortly after to be like, oh look, we're going to give the Pyro deck more support. But that, again, it's just my take. It's just my take. It feels a bit worse because of how staggered the releases are for Rush. And when we get something, it's usually a minor expansion with barely like 5 to 10 playable cards. I mean, literally, quite often, it's actually 6 cards that are new and a bunch of reprints. Like, we've had the Celestial Warrior deck build box, and we've had the Mirageus, or Mirageus Star deck build box, both of which had 6 new cards. Like, literally 6 cards. And not all of them are playable, right? Even in the latest box, we had, what was it, Flip and Flap, Red Boot, and Mirageus Star, and those were like the only playables. Like, the rest of it was all garbage. We had like 4 new cards. So it was like, eh. But also, Duel Links promotes a more fast-paced game, so also our defensive tools don't improve while aggressive power level keeps increasing. Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't want the game to become a stall fest. I don't want games to last 20 turns. I would like it if I don't feel like just because I left 2 monsters in attack mode, I can just die and have nothing I can do about it. That's the thing I don't like. I think just getting randomly OTK'd feels bad. Like, I don't mind dying over the course of like 2 to 3 turns. I think that's fine. But like when I'm at like full life and it's just like, bam, you're dead. It's just like, oh, well, I didn't draw my legend trap, so I guess I'm dead. Or I did draw my legend trap, but it got destroyed. Or I milled my legend trap, so I'm dead. And all of those things feel bad. So, we need just like a little bit more defensive option without going crazy, right? That's kind of how I look at it. And since many decks lack that offensive, it feels unfair. Like Thomas has said, you get punished out of thin air. Yeah, it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel great. That being said, I don't think the current meta we're in is the worst meta we've had. So, like, that's at least something. I guess, like, in my ideal, again, I mean, I've said this 100 times, right? I just want a bit more back row. We don't want to go over the top, but we just need to stop allowing decks to do 6,000 damage in one turn very easily. That's one thing I would like. Now, to be fair, in high-level tournament play, you're not really seeing OTKs. Realistically, that's just not happening, but it can happen. And it sometimes does happen, and that feels bad. That's at least my take on it, right? The current meta could be fun, but I still get to kick their butt using Rebels. Being high-level fusions make Doom Metal funnily strong. Yeah, definitely. Dragon still does feel like it punishes you for trying to play against it. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. I feel like Psychic can do it, but it happens so much less. Because for Psychic to punish you, they already have to be, like, overly set up. And I feel like if Psychic is overly set up, you're not going to be overextending into them. So, like, although they do kind of do the same thing in a lot of ways, I think Dragons are a lot more one-dimensional, and they will just slam everything down on the board, get as much damage in, smack, smack, smack. Whereas Psychic will oftentimes opt to go the defensive route. Like Candy Live is a good example, where it has two effects. One is very defensive, one is very offensive. So a lot of the time people opt for the defensive route, right? Honestly, Rush didn't need to be reduced to 6,000 life points. I mean, that's what I think as well. I mean, there was maybe an argument for, like, right at the start, right? Like the first couple of sets, maybe you can make the argument. But as soon as we started getting OTKs running around, it's kind of like, could you just give us 2,000 more life points, please? Like, is this... I don't think this would hurt the game. But yeah, being punished for playing against two specific decks like Dragon and Psychic sometimes, it makes the format feel boring and not like, oh, I lost because I actually made an obvious mistake. Yeah, I mean, it's awkward. It's definitely a little bit awkward. That is for sure. Just because there are some situations where it's kind of like, okay, you left two monsters face up, therefore you're inviting getting OTK'd. And then the counter argument is, what do you mean I can't leave two monsters face up? Like, I've already got a third monster not face up, and I'm still dying to just having two monsters face up. Like, most decks can't win with only, like, 2 or 1 monster on the field. That's just not a thing. Instead, you just lost because your opponent has everything at any time. But hey, at least I still get fun from them leaving many in attack and do metal kicking in. I mean, yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, Royal Rebels was the OG. I'm going to punish you for just playing the game. It was like that and Overlord, right? Those are the two, like, original, like, we're going to mess you up. And then, like, I guess that was one of the big problems a lot of people had with Metarion, was because it felt like it was those two decks combined together. It was, now it's like Overlord and Heavy Metal, or Royal Rebels in a weird way. But this is what we did last stream. I think, realistically, everything over here that we just highlighted has potential. I think everything in this little box, there is potential that comes out in the next box. Now, some stuff's going to be more likely than others, but any of that could come out. And then, you know, that's just the obvious stuff. There's going to be, like, some weird stuff, like, much later releases that could also come out a bit earlier. Hope Konami solves the issue. Russia's still fun compared to the mess Speed is at the moment. I still really like Speed at the moment, but that might just be because, like, I'm not at King of Games. I'm not in Legend rank, right? So it might have something to do with it. Right now, the only real complaint I have in Speed is, like, the FTK stuff, which I have barely seen at the moment. And then, like, just heroes being everywhere and that deck just being able to do everything for free. Other than that, like, I'm kind of fine with it. Geez, I remember Overlord. Yeah, Overlord. Plant support when? Well, we've predicted plant support. We've got Durga the Shadowflower sub as a UR. I mean, these could be any, right? And then we've got Gatling Maker as SRs. I think, in my mind, now seems like a good time for plant support. But, like, will Konami think that as well? I don't know. Like I say, we're basically throwing darts at a wall, right? It could be baseball, we could get Sea Serpent, we could get normal wind support. Music Princess, I would hope we'd get Tiger as a playable character and that come up with that. We could get Sushi Fairies, we could get Fire Beasts, which would be on theme, but it feels weird to give us the Fire Beasts without the Sushi Fairies or without the upgraded noodles, because they're all kind of from the same team. Really decks that need a solid yellow button to press and do things. Yeah, it's one of the, like, almost sad parts about playing Duel Links, because there are a lot of really cool decks that I like, but oftentimes I'll look at them and I'll go, oh, you don't have, like, a really good skill? I don't even think you're worth playing. And there are some decks which can play without big yellow button, but, like, oftentimes you feel like you're playing from so far behind if you don't have a big yellow button to go with your deck. It just, I don't know. Doesn't feel great. Doesn't feel great. But yeah, we could get the reptiles, which again, I would hope this... We'll put a little asterisk next to these, because again, I would hope that reptiles come out as a character. I hope Music Princesses come out as a character. Arc Talk, the Machine Fusion stuff, that could easily come out. The rest of the zombie stuff could come out. I don't know why we don't have Stein yet, but just give us Stein, bro. The Cyburst fusions weren't used in the anime, so this could just come out whenever. We've already talked about the Plant Fusion, we've already talked about Noodle Fusion. Dinosaur Fusion is a bit of a weird one, because all of the dinosaur cards are from tickets, except Dynamix, which was in a box. So I don't know what they're going to do with the Fusion. They might have the Fusion as a ticket, like a ranked reward again, or they might slap it in a box and just reprint Dinosaur Kit. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. Which at the moment sucks. Yellow button is a pro and con for sure. The Cyburst and Doom Metal ones are pretty uniquely designed. So the Doom Metal one, I will say, there is basically a card that does what that does, which it did kind of breathe a bit of life into Royal Rebels in the OCG. But that card now in Duel Links would probably feel a bit underpowered, because again, we just have the skill, which does everything for us. But yeah, like I said, I think any of this stuff could be in the next box. This is just what we've, like, predicted. But, I think it's time. I think it's time we go on to our Husbando tier list. So first things first, I chose this tier list specifically. I did not make this list. This is someone else's list. But because it just has so many characters. And we have not specifically separated, like, male and female. We're just going to kind of go through. But just look at all of these Yu-Gi-Oh characters. Look at the ridiculous number of characters. We're not going to do any of the manga stuff as well, because I have not read a lot of this manga. But we're basically just doing all the anime stuff. And we're going to skip over the women, because we're doing the Husbando tier list for now. But so, yeah, the gist is, we have our 5 tiers. We got Wood, Wood Mary. We got Based, because, they're awesome. They have Chad energy. We've got Nice Young Man. This is where we're going to put all the nice young men. We got Who. This is, like, nobodies, or, like, characters we don't care about, or people we just don't know, because don't forget, there are still 2 Yu-Gi-Oh series that I've not watched. And then the Dumpster. This is just where, terrible, terrible people come from. Now, one thing I will say is, I will not recognize all of these characters. I will not know some of these characters, because I've not seen their series. A good example of this, who is this? Can anyone tell me who that is? First off, I can only see half of his face. His hair looks like he's probably from Vrains, with potentially Zexal, but I don't know who that is. If anyone in chat knows, feel free to tell me, because I'm going to need help with probably a lot of these, because again, I'm going to struggle with who any of these characters are. But I would like to kind of like gush over some of these characters as well as we go through. Just be like, oh, I loved it in X anime where he did this or that, right? But yeah, I have no idea who this is. So for now, this guy's just going to go in who. We're just going to leave him there, I guess. So next up is going to be Valen. Do we like Valen? Alright, I think I'm going to put Valen in the dumpster. Is this even Valen? No, Valen's the other one. What is this guy's name? It's going to bother me that I can't remember his name. What were they called? They were like the Orichalcos guys. Bowman? Is that Bowman? He's actually got a good story. What is he from? Which one is he from? Bowman Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay. Look, so he's from Vrains. But again, I know nothing about him. What deck does he play? Duelist Hydra Drive. What is Hydra Drive? It's archetype of Cyburst monsters. Do they have real cards? Are these? I don't think I've ever read a Hydra Drive card. High Drive. What are these? Are these real? Are they real cards, or are they like anime exclusive? That's my next question. I also can't remember what this guy's called. He's not Valon. He's not Raphael. He's the other one. Alistair. Is Alistair, right? Yeah, Alistair. Yeah, so I don't know this guy. I'm not really going to rate him very much. Alistair, I think, goes in the dumpster. Alistair is he's kind of whiny. His, like, thing is that he, like, dresses up as Pegasus and duels Kyber. He, like, lost his brother in a war. I personally think he was the least interesting out of all of the, like, Orichalcos guys. I don't really like him. I think he's got kind of small PP energy. So we're just going to put him in the dumpster. Next up is going to be Anubis. Anubis is probably also going in the dumpster. Anubis is obviously for the Pyramid of Light movie. There's nothing really interesting to say about Anubis. His deck kind of sucks. He plays like Andro Sphinx and Sphinx Telea and Theon and the Great Sphinx. Not really much to say about him. He's kind of one note. He doesn't really have like any motivation or backstory, really. And he kind of just looks like a bit of a loser. So we're just going to put him in dumpster, I think. Then we've got Atem. Atem has to be in one of these two, right? I don't know where we put him. Because this looks specifically like it is the Dark-Sided Dimensions Atem. But I don't know if we're going to like bother worrying about that too much. We're probably going to put Atem in wood. I think he is good husbando material. Crowler, for me, this might be a bit of a weird one. Crowler, for me, goes in based. I've always been a big Crowler fan. Bowman is an AI made by an Ignis using the conscience of a victim of the event Playmaker was a victim of. Actually a good character. His deck is cool too. Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't know enough about him to put him anywhere other than Who. So we're just going to leave him in Who for now. Again, that's my fault. But yeah, Crowler for me. I have always really liked Crowler from the first episode of GX. I've always really liked Crowler. I think Ancient Gear is a really cool deck. I think Crowler is a really interesting character. I always like the characters in games and anime that are kind of a bit insufferable, but like in a good way. It's a weird like archetype to like define, but I really like Crowler. He's like a foil to Jaden and some of the main characters. He's kind of like a semi-antagonist of season 1. But he slowly like comes round. He joins the group that fight against the Shadow Riders. I think Crowler's just a good character. I like Crowler. Then we get Nail. I don't dislike Nail, but I don't really like Nail. I don't really have anything super positive to say about him. He's a bit... he's kind of monotone in a way, and I don't mean like the way he talks, I mean like the way he acts. He's very like strict, he's very straight, he's very very serious, I guess. He's a very serious character, but he's not like edgy, he's not like cool, he's just kind of, he's like, I don't know if anyone here's watched Vanguard, but he's like Riker from Vanguard if he didn't have like all of the flair and badassness that Riker had. It's nice that Ancient Gear is in Russian in its own way. Tomato, you'll need to watch Frames. All the characters are pretty well written besides Playmaker. Yeah, people keep telling me this. I need to do that. I might start watching some episodes, like a number of episodes a week, and then just on stream doing like a little bit of a recap of what I've watched. Like that might be something that we do in the future. Then there's Gavin. I really like Gavin. I'm not gonna lie. Gavin is really cool. Gavin is... he's very similar to Nail in a lot of ways, except he's like also got that comic relief like aspect to him, which I think is really funny. And I really like Gavin because of that. He's like, he also has like different forms, I guess. Like when he's dueling, he does the whole Suigetsu style thing, which I really like. He has like Disco Gavin G, which is so funny. Like I actually love Gavin so much. He's one of the best characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. This is what happens when there's no rush leaks and terrible speed meta. Tomato reduced to ranking his crushes. Nah. We're not ranking crushes, okay? We're ranking husbandos. There's a complete difference. But welcome on in, Jari. Gavin is definitely one of the favorite 7 characters. Yeah, he's definitely one of mine. Manabu / Maddox, I think is... Alright. As a character, he's going here, right? As... his deck and his cards, he goes up here. So the question now is, we should set this up now, right? Are we going to give people bonus points if their deck is awesome? Because I kind of want to, because I want to reward people for having really base decks. So like, I really like all of these characters' decks up here. I don't really like Cyburst, so like that's a good reason to keep Nail and Nice Young Man. Nope for me. Ooh, okay. Okay, that's Kuro-sama's opinion. Feels unfair. I mean, I guess. I suppose, like, most of the DM decks would then immediately lose because they don't really have a real deck. Alright, I will respect that. I will respect that and move Maddox down. But I still think Gavin deserves to stay up here. Then we have... Yuo. Oh, Yuo, you are... Alright, this might be an unpopular opinion, depending on who you are. I think Yuo is kind of a whiny bitch pretty much the whole time he's ever on screen. But he does redeem himself when he duels against Yuga. Yuga Goha, his brother. So, like... I think he's dumpster most of the time. But he does get into Nice Young Man by the end of his character arc. So I think we're going to leave him in Nice Young Man. So, alright, I get what you're saying, Promanicus, by ranking them like that. I do think that might make this a little bit overly complicated. And I feel like this is already going to take a long time to get through. And I don't know if I want to give everyone individual rankings like that. Yuo's a massive difference between dub and sub 2. So I've only seen the sub. I have not seen dub Yuo. So would you say dub Yuo is better or worse? I suppose is my question. I didn't watch Rush, and I don't like his lines, so I would keep him in dumpster. Also, his design is nothing cool. Yeah, his design's a bit weird. He's got, like, weird cat ears. He has the mouth cover thing, but, like, all of the siblings have that. He has, like, shorts as well, which is... Come on, guys. What are we doing with shorts? Worse than dub. Okay, let's put him to the top of the dumpster. How about that? I think top of dumpster is pretty good. Next up, Yuga Goha. Yuga Goha is such a good antagonist. I actually think he is amazing. His dub voice is definitely more annoying. That's not surprising. Shorts are comfy and easy to wear. I have heard that, Shari. I have definitely heard that. But Goha Yuga, definitely goes in wood. One of the best characters in Sevens, in my opinion. He's kind of insane, but who doesn't love an insane character, right? There are some of the best written characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are absolutely insane, so I don't think we could dock marks from him for that. I think his deck's cool, but that's not, we're not doing the bonus points for deck. We're just basically doing it for, like, character and, like, appearance, I guess. I think Go Hyuga is, like, one of the better characters, so I do really like him. I mean, again, not really much more to say beyond that. All right, who is this? This guy is from... I'm pretty sure this is either the guy from Arc V from the Synchro Dimension, or it could be the guy from Heartland, or it could be a guy from Vrains who's like friends with Playmaker. I genuinely cannot remember who this is. There's like a handful of characters in my head that like all resemble this man, and I cannot think who he is. So we'll come back to that. If anyone knows, feel free to shout out. Duke Devlin. I mean, Duke Devlin's got to be in base, right? That's Vrains. Okay, so is this Playmaker's friend from like the first episode? But yeah, Duke Devlin. I mean, what is there to say about Duke Devlin, right? Duke Devlin gets his own theme music in the Abridged series. Always a plus. He made his own game, Dungeon Dice Monsters, has his own game store. He is one of those characters, again, that starts off as an antagonist, but then comes around to being a friend to the main cast. I always liked his dynamic with Tristan and Serenity. I've always thought that was like really compelling to watch. In the filler arc, where they go to the like Dimension World, the Duel Monster Virtual World arc, he has like a really cool deck with Orgoth and Dimension Dice and the dice board. I really like Duke. I like dice. I like dice games. I like Duke as a character, and he's easy to look at as well. Playmaker's man in the chair. He's very chill. Yes. Okay, so it was one of the people I did think it was at least. Even though Duke has a shitty deck, he is very cool, and I love the fact he plays Gradius. Well, because his Gradius card was from random booster packs, right? Because him and Joey just like basically do a booster draft or a sealed thing. Cards based on Gradius in the game series. Yeah. Next up we have... Alright, I cannot remember this guy's name, but he is the Pharaoh guy from GX who uses the first, second, and third sarcophagus cards to get out the Spirit of the Pharaoh. Is that Hikari in the chat? Hello, Hikari. We'll give the shout out to Hikari as well before we forget. There we go. There's the shout out to Hikari. Well, you're here now, Hikari. You've barely missed anything. You've barely missed anything. But yeah, I cannot remember what the hell this guy's name is. But I know who he is. He was in one episode. He has one duel. He loses. He was very polite. He's quite nice to look at. He's a nice young man. I think he goes in the nice young man tier. Why am I not invited to this? Listen, you're always invited to the streams, okay? And why is Yuo there? So we had a lot of back and forth on Yuo, Hikari. We were talking about having him in nice young man tier because my argument was when Yuo first came into the show, he was dumpster tier. But by the end, when he duels against Yuga Goha, he's in nice young man tier. And then people kept throwing in, like, they hate his design, they don't like his clothes, his dub voice was really annoying. So chat basically bullied us into putting it back down into dumpster. And I'm a man of the people. So if the people need him in dumpster, I'm not going to say he's not allowed to be in dumpster. But we did put him to the top of dumpster. Tomato, tell Hikari the dark... Alright, we can jump back to that quick if you want. So we were looking at tournament results. And because Manicist got another top 8 result with Heroes, he has officially jumped over Dark Galaxy, which means Dark Galaxy has been downgraded a spot. So it's now one spot worse than it was before. So Dark Galaxy is now just statistically a worse deck, which is kind of funny. It needs another win. It needs some more top 8s. Next up's Chumley. Chumley. I have a soft spot for Chumley. Like, he's not going in wood, right? Just definitely not. But, like... Chumley is so nice, right? Bro is just, like, kind of lazy. But he's, like, he's really friendly. He's really nice. He gets his dream job. He has the koala deck. All of his duels are really good in the show. I really like them. I don't think I can put him above nice young man, though. Chumley's, like, nice, but, like... Chumley is a bro, basically. Yeah, Chumley is a bro. Chumley is someone that I would happily spend the rest of my life with, right? But, like, there would be no physical attraction. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would be like, Chumley, let's be, like, roommates forever. We'll just hang out. We'll just always be together. It can't be. Time to win, then. I believe in you, Hikari. I believe in you. So next up, we have Alexander the Great. So to anyone that doesn't remember, Alexander the Great was the villain of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monsters anime. And he had the Millennium Ring. So it was the spirit of the Millennium Ring being wielded by Alexander the Great. I mean, the spirit of the ring's cool. I don't know if he's necessarily a nice young man, but he's not in the dumpster. Because at the very least, like, he is a compelling character from a really bad arc. Like, he wasn't, like, written awfully. It's just, it was like a horrendously filler arc, right? What about after a few bottles of hot sauce with Chumley? I mean, we'll have to see if Chumley's dad is actually on here or not. I completely forgot that was the name of the villain from Capsule Monsters. It's Alexander the Great. How do you forget about Alexander the Great? I'm just saying, there is a non-0% chance that Alexander the Great, inhabited by the spirit of the Millennium Ring, becomes a playable character in Duel Links. There is a slim chance that could happen. So you got to remember Alexander the Great. Next up is this guy. What is his name? He's got like a really like ominous, silly name. But he's one of the Shadow Riders, and he was hired by Crowler, I want to say, to try and trick Jaden into thinking he's doing a shadow game, but then it ends up being a real shadow game. Why is Kusanagi? Which one's Kusanagi? I need to like Google names now. Right, I'm Googling. Kusanagi. It's so good that it doesn't even have an image for him. Him. He's in the Who tier because I don't know who he is. I've seen one episode of Vrains, like, all the way through. So he has to go in the Who tier. Most Vrains characters will be here. That's just how it's going to go. I know some of the Vrains characters, but I don't know all of them. I tell you what. I do know him to an extent, so I'll put him in Nice Young Man. I do think, though... What is this guy's name? Like, Nightmare or something? Like, it's something really, like, edgy. To be fair, I forgot a lot about Capsule Monsters. I mean, that is completely fair. No one's expecting you to remember. Bro did Bowman dirty. Again, I've literally never seen Bowman in an episode, so I don't have an opinion on him. Bro slacking at Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. Obviously, yeah. Oh, right, you're not a believer that didn't watch Vrains. It's because the first episode of Vrains sucked. I'm sorry, I've said it. It's just how it be. Where are we putting this guy? So this guy, again, I can't remember his name, but he is in Arc V. He's the guy that teaches Gong how to synchro summon, and he plays an X-Saber deck. His personality is kind of like confident to like cocky, overconfident with like a little bit of like childishness mixed in, and then he's also kind of got this like kind of wild man aspect about him. I do quite like him. I think he's a good character. I don't think he's going to go in the base tier though. Like, he's like, for these characters that only show up in a few episodes, I think he is one of the stronger. Also, hello Zaki boys, welcome on. Even if it has the greatest husbando of all time, Revolver, I will tell you right now, I know enough about Revolver that he is going in higher than Who tier. I'll tell you that right now. Tomato, just have to trust me. I must be in wood. Right, well, first off, we'll see if I can recognize I by the picture. We'll see if we can get to that. So, is this the character from... My brain is telling me this is a GX character that has, like, the spirit thing going on. I'm trying to remember now. But, like, this is such, like, a generic-looking person. That's Misty from 5Ds. Let's have a look. Misty 5Ds. So I don't remember her, like, at all. Right, Misty Treadwell. What does she do? What deck does she play? Deck. She plays... Oh, she's the Reptilian Duelist. Right. Alright, but either way, it's a woman, so she's not coming in. But I just didn't recognize who she was. Right, yes. I do remember Reptilian. I just... This image, I just did not recognize her whatsoever. Earthbound player. Yeah. So now we're going to get... this might be an unpopular opinion. I'm going to be putting all of the... all of the, like, the future 5Ds guys. They're all going in dumpster for me. It's not that they're bad characters. It's that I have no interest whatsoever in having any of them as a husbando. That's just how that's going. What's up, Hikari? What's up? I know you've got something to say. I'm waiting for Zuijo to unfollow you. Oh, well, we'll have to wait and see where he ends up. Bro, eyebrows are long. It covers his eyes. I mean, basically. So next up is... What's he called? Hunter? Also, it's going to get hard to see some of the dumpster tier, but... we're going to have him down in garbage tier, right? He's the Exodia guy. What is there to say? He's kind of obnoxious. He looks hideous. He beats Joey with Exodia, and then he loses to Yugi. And then we get Kaizo. Kaizo straight into wood, right? How could Kaizo not be in top tier? As far as robots go, Kaizo is definitely one of the best robots, right? He's funny. He's kind of a Roman simp. That's kind of his thing. But, like, every episode he's in, I feel like is better because he's in it. Maybe not wood. We'll put him in based. We'll put him probably down here. You would smash a bot? This is not a smash tier list, Zaki boys. This is the Husbando tier list. Come on, bro. He gives villain of the week energy. Basically. Big villain of the week energy. So I don't remember what this robot's called, but this is the robot that helps out Kite. Or Kaito. He has his own deck. He has his... I think himself is a card in his own deck. Orbital. Yeah, that one. Again, I haven't watched any of Zexal. Well, I haven't seen much of Zexal. So I don't have a fully formed opinion on him, but he seems like a nice young man. Next up. Mako. I think Mako goes into based. Right? Mako, you know, he's a fisherman. Right? He's a duelist that's also a fisherman. He's a provider. He has his own boat, which I think he goes out to try and buy. He can cook, right? We do see him cooking in the show. He works out, right? He's very physical, therefore he's got like a very toned body. Yeah, he is a freaky fish guy, but sometimes freaky fish guys can be based. I think that's just how that goes. And there, just like that, we've run out of men. So we're going to have to scroll down a bit now to find more men. Chupataro. Chupataro, I'm generously going to put him to the bottom of Nice Young Man. Chupataro is basically like what Kaizo is to Roman, he is to a fictional character in Meeg-chan, like dialed up to 11, right? Freaky fish wife, basically. He's based, but he does have a banger OST in Duel Links, so would. I don't think we're going to let Duel Links OST affect our tier positioning too much, if we're being completely honest. But I respect that. But yeah, Chupataro is going to be in Nice Young Man. There's not really much to say about him. He's kind of at one note. Right, who is this? I do not know who this is. I'm sure a lot of people are going to give me grief because he looks like he's an important character. But I have no idea who this is. Chupataro, the one loves a sheep card, is higher than Yuo. The thing is, right, Chupataro is very inoffensive. Whereas Yuo, especially initially, was like obnoxious as heck. Best Boy. Unfortunately, Best Boy doesn't, like, tell me who this is. Like, if you give me a name, I can at least Google it. But I have no idea who he is. So for now, he's going to sit there. I also don't know who this is. Playing trash deck. Yeah, I have no idea who this is either. Who is who? Both of these two and who? Oh. I don't recognize this guy either. Should I recognize this guy? He looks familiar, but I don't recognize him. Hello, Toti. Welcome, welcome. Tomato, did Hikari hold you at gunpoint to make this tier list? RoboPie. RoboPie. Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's have a look. Wait, is he a robot? Roboppy. Oh, it's Roboppy. Duel Brains. He used to be a robot that worked as a maid. In Season 3, he is the secondary antagonist after becoming an android working alongside I. You know, I know just enough about him that he's going to be a good boy. He's a nice young man. He's going up there. He's going up a tier. He didn't even tell me. And the guy from DSOD. Wait, was that guy from DSOD? I mean, he could stay where he is, mate. Green head guy is the Brave Max. Brave Max Yu-Gi-Oh! We're doing a lot of learning right now. Naoki Shima. Brave Battler, Lonely Brave, and Brave Max. What deck does he play? Cyburst Wizard, Green Baboon. Oh, he's the brick guy. The guy who plays against the Steel Swarm guy. And they both just like brick and stare at each other. Okay, just for the meme, he's going up. He's going up. Actually, never mind. If Hikari held you at gunpoint, you'd be dead, putting you in the dumpster tier. Spoilers. He's a good character. He beats Ghost Gal and his brother in a tag duel without a skill. That actually sounds kind of cool. That actually sounds kind of cool. The thing, right, so the issue with doing this as like a collab would be, one, it's going to be a lot of back and forth. Two, have you seen how many characters we're doing? Like, have you seen how many and how long this is going to take? Just look at this colossal task we had. By the way, Chumley's dad. Right there. And then we get the manga characters. But yeah, this is going to take so long. This is going to take so long. I think trying to do this, especially when I've only got like 3 hours, is just not realistic to do this and like with discussion involved on top. Who are you? Is this guy from Heartland? Was he in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 when they go to Heartland? Actually, I have ads. I don't want to know if you responded to me. The guy in purple hair who is Iggy Ario from Arc V. Iggy Ario. I've seen all of Arc V. I just do not remember him at all. Japanese Junior Youth Class Arc League Championships. Bandit Warrior Academy in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V anime. Oh! Is he the Gladiator Beast guy? No, he's not. I literally don't remember this guy. Is this deck anime exclusive? Tenma the Sky Star. Kaiki the Unity Star. I don't remember any of this, like, at all. I assume he was part of Season 1, which makes him part of the best season. Roboppy play Appliancer, and it's so OP in the anime, but so trash IRL. That's a bit sad. That is a bit sad. I can't wait for Tomato to watch Reigns. I mean, I'm going to enjoy it, I think, when I do eventually watch it. Who's next? We have... Is this the guy from the first episode of Arc V who plays the ogres? Yes, it is. I mean, he's kind of trash. Like, let's not bounce around that. He plays a very bad deck. He's in like one episode. He is basically in the series to lose to Yuya to just show off what Pendulum Summoning is, and that's it. The Sledgehammer. I love how you remember his name. I love how you remember his name so much. Shadi? Shadi's a nice young man. I think Shadi's just a nice young man. We don't need to, like, delve too much into Shadi. Got Millennium Item. He's kind of cool. Tetsu Trudge. I do like Tetsu Trudge. I think he's going to go up here. He's going to go up in the, like, kind of, like, nice characters section of the nice young men. I'm going to move some of this around a little bit, I think. Yeah, I quite like this. There's not really a ton to say about Tetsu Trudge. He's like a police officer or security officer. He seems very physical. He's very kind of dedicated to what he does. He has got quite an interesting arc over the course of Arc V, so I do really like him as a character. I have no idea who that is. These are like the most generic anime faces of all time. This guy was from the... Was it the Grand Prix arc? He was on one of the other teams? I cannot remember, like, at all. It's been so long since I've watched 5Ds. I don't remember who the teams were. That's the Cloudian guy? I mean, yeah, he's got to be up here, right? Maybe I'm wrong. If it is the Cloudian guy, he's got to be up here. I mean, either way, I mean... He's not bad looking, is he? He's not bad on the eyes. It helps us in the dub. They made the Sledgehammer sound like a bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. I mean, I guess that'll always be one of the benefits, right? Next up, we do have this guy, who, again, I don't remember his name. But was this the guy... He was obviously a turbo duelist. I want to say he was in Arc V again. I'm really trying to remember. There was the guy that dueled against Yuzu that, like, inflicted pain on himself. And, like, he had, like, the reverse. Like, he wanted to, like, use the card that, like, boosted its attack based on the difference in their life points. But I don't think it's him. I really don't remember who this is. Bandit Keith's grandson. He does kind of look a bit like it, doesn't he? I will just leave him there for now, I think. Dennis. Dennis, for me, goes a nice young man. I like Dennis. Dennis has, like, a really weird character arc where he starts out as, like... He kind of comes across as, like, a helpful guy that's, like, pretty good at dueling and is, like, duel-taining. And then it turns out that he was Yuya's dad's, like, disciple, but he actually works for the fusion dimension. He's got, like, a really interesting arc. Because he has, like, the ancient gear deck as well. But then he kind of gets redeemed in the end. I think Dennis is a pretty cool character. Dennis, ooh. Why do you not like Dennis? Why do you not like that? What's wrong with Dennis? What is the key defining factor of Dennis that you dislike? Do you like dislike his appearance? Do you dislike his personality? Because I think he's got a really cool character arc. He's a 5D. He's the previous champ before Jack beat him. Okay, well, we don't care about him. He can stay there. I think Dennis is cool. I like Dennis. This guy's from Zexal? I think we don't even need to think about it. We'll just put them in trash tier, right? We'll just put them in trash tier. Both, and I also dislike Arc 5. Arc 5 is good. I like Arc 5. I like a lot of the Arc 5 characters. Don't get me wrong, Arc 5 is not perfect by any stretch, but like it's a good series. Flip from Zexal. Yeah, I assumed it was a Zexal character. I've seen him around, because he also looks like one of the manga characters as well. Leon is a nice young man. I've got nothing like bad to say about Leon, but also like nothing super positive to say about Leon. He was in the Kaiba Grand Tournament arc. His brother was Siegfried, who had the Golden Castle of Stromberg to try and like hack it in and try and use it as a virus to deal with like the Kaiba court system. He plays a Fairy Tail deck, and I think his Fairy Tail deck is really cool. The only real negative I have to say about him is he wears like a cardigan, and it just looks really weird. But like as a character, he's just nice. He's just a friendly guy. Nothing like bad to say about him. Then we get to what was his name? So he's Nightmare. Atticus. That's his name. I think Atticus can go into base. Atticus is pretty cool. He plays the Red Eyes deck, obviously when he's like his Nightmare persona. He's meant to be, like, the second strongest duelist at Duel Academy after Zane. Although we never really get to see that. Not gonna lie, I watched Arc V before 5Ds and Zexal, so when they introduced Penned, Synchro, and Xyz, I was like, what the fuck am I watching? I mean, that's fair enough. I remember... So I was at university when Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V was airing. And I remember I had a bunch of my housemates just in the room with me as I was watching it. And we just watched Pendulum Summon for the first time. And just everyone was like, what the fuck was that? And we were just like, that's weird on its own. Bearing in mind, again, the last time I had played Yu-Gi-Oh! At that point was when Synchro Summoning was like the latest mechanic. So we'd like skipped over Xyz. But I think Atticus is a cool character. Who is next? Solomon Moto. He's a nice young man. He's not really a young man, but he's a nice young man. Solomon Moto, again, is like a really good character, I think. He's a bit of a damsel in distress in the Season 1. But like, he has his own game store. I really like him in Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0 as well. There's like... we got to see him duel in the KT, the Kyber Corp Grand Prix tournament arc thing, where he duels against Joey with like his ancient deck and he summons out the ancient dragon. I think that was pretty cool. I do like the old Solomon Moto. We also got to see him a little bit in the Capsule Monster Coliseum, or Capsule Monster like Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc. Like, again, nothing like crazy, nothing like insane going on there, but like, I like him. I like him as a character. I got nothing bad to say about him. I wish his ancient deck got a physical version. I think it would be garbage, but I would also like it to be real, right? I think they're more likely, if anything, to do like a retrain and make them all like way, way, way stronger than they were in the show, but still use like the same kind of art and the same kind of theme. I don't recognize this guy at all. He looks like villain of the week kind of aura, and I have no idea who he is. Cyrus. Where do we put Cyrus? Cyrus is like... Cyrus is actually hard for me to place. He's from Zexal. I mean, that would explain why. I really don't know what to do with Cyrus. I don't think Cyrus is based. And definitely not in the wood tier. Cyrus is like a nice character arc. Cyrus almost feels like he could have been the main character of GX if Jaden wasn't there. Like, he has a really satisfying character arc where he's like not confident in himself, and then he has to like find confidence. He manages to like, he has this like chip on his shoulder about not being as good as his brother. Over the course of the series, he goes from Slifer into Ra into Obelisk, which like we barely see any other characters move dorms. Like, he's the only one that actually like progresses. I think he's a good character. Nistro from Zexal, and his main deck is Heroic Challenges. I don't really like Heroic Challenges, if I'm being perfectly honest. But again, as a character, I don't really know what to do with him, because I don't know him, right? Tyranno Hasselberry. Alright. This is a difficult one. I think, for me, we're going to put Tyranno Hasselberry up quite high. So, I wasn't a big fan of his dub voice, but I do quite like him in JP. I think aesthetically, he's like a very interesting character, right? He's very muscular. He's got like the dinosaur motif going on. I think his only real discredit is that he has like the weird rivalry with Cyrus or Sho, just about being Jaden or Judai's like best friend, which I think is a little bit weird. But like, I think he definitely goes higher than Cyrus for me personally. I cannot remember what this guy's name is, but he is one of the two ninja brothers that joins the Lancers in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V. He's like Mizukage or something. He's fine. Like, he's a very loyal character. When he does duel, it's actually quite interesting. Moon Shadow. Yes, there you go. Moon Shadow. There's nothing like particularly stand out about him, but he's definitely not like a dumpster character, that's for sure. Then, who is this? Is this even a male character? I do not recognize who this is at all. Purple hair. Is that a dual disc on the arm? It's so hard to tell. I think we're just going to leave them and who. I don't even, like I said, I don't even know if they're male or female. Then we've got... Again, I can't remember his name, but this is the guy that played the Machina deck. So he had like the really bad old Machina stuff. Or was that this guy, or was he the bomber guy? No, I think this was the bomber guy. I'm trying to remember now. There were like 2 duelists that are sticking out in my head. One of them played like Machina Force and had like the Machina Sniper, which was like his best friend's card. And then the other one played like all the bomber cards that could like combine together from 5Ds. And I think one was in 5Ds. And one was not in 5Ds. So this is the reactor guy. This is the reactor guy. I think he's fine. He becomes a dark... Does he become a dark signer? I don't remember that at all. Okay, so here's the bomber guy. The purple girl from Zexal. So this is a girl, is what we're saying. We'll get rid of her then. Out you go. Out of the tier list. I don't know how I feel about how many names I remember. I mean, Greiger or something is his name. I literally do not remember his name at all. Sawatori. Silvio Sawatori is going in base tier. Silvio Sawatori is so good as a character. In a lot of episodes, he steals the show in Arc V. He is genuinely really, really funny. He also like keeps flip-flopping decks. He starts out by playing like a weird like sniper deck. Then he plays Yosenju. Then he plays not Perform Mages. What does he play? He plays Abyss Actors. I think all of his decks are cool. I think as a character he's really cool. He's kind of got this like weird chip on his shoulder where he loses to Yuya and then just basically wants to be Yuya. He wants to do what Yuya does but better. Oh yeah, he plays Monarchs. But like his Monarchs are like a weird Monarch, right? Because he starts out playing like something Stinger, if I recall correctly, during like his first duel against Yuya. Needle, then Shiny Monarch. Yeah, he played like the Needle deck. That's the one I remember him for. This guy is... He's also an Arc Via. I remember him being okay. I don't really remember him that well, but like he's not going in dumpster tier, and he's not going in Who because I do recognize him. Initial appearance is very fun, over-dramatic character. Yes. He's again, he steals the show. He's one of the best characters just in Arc 5 in general, in my opinion. Weevil Underwood. Okay, Weevil. Where are you going, Weevil? Weevil's probably going in trash in the dumpster tier. Weevil's like an interesting character, but he's kind of irredeemable. He's kind of a bit annoying. Like, I like Weevil. I like it when he's on screen. I wouldn't want to be friends with Weevil. Right? He's that kind of character. Damamu. Do we even know if Damamu is male or female? Or just like non-gender specific? Damamu, you can just go up here. You can just hang out. Wait. What's wrong, Manicist? We're waiting just for you, Manicist. Is that Raphael? No? Raphael isn't in Who? Unless there's another Raphael. Raphael's blonde, right? So this can't be Raphael. Last one. This guy. This guy is... Someone said it earlier, but he's a guy from Zexal. Weevil sucks, throws your stream into the sea. I said I like Weevil as a character. I don't want to be friends with Weevil. That was my argument there. I would not want to marry Weevil. Rex Raptor, on the other hand. Up you come, Rex. Up here with Mako. Right, now, I might be a bit biased because I'm kind of a dinosaur guy, but Rex is really funny. I think out of him and Weevil, Rex is the funnier one. He's also, like, he's kind of a prat, but he's not, like, a dick, right? Like, Weevil actively cheats and tries to, like, sabotage stuff. Rex is just kind of, like, an adorable oaf that, like, tries to be a villain, but is just really bad at it. And that makes him very endearing. Yeah, I know I was worried then. Yeah. I like Rex. I think Rex is a cool character. Rex is mainly an airhead, and that is completely fine. We like airheads. Otis. And this is going to be OG Otis. We're not going to get into, like, the many forms of Otis. I think OG Otis will just have a nice young man. Again, he's not, like, anything crazy. We don't even ever actually see his face. He's, like, kind of plot relevant for a lot of it, but also at the same time kind of not. He kind of just comes in at the end. Otis is based. Again, if we're taking out everything that happens in Go Rush to do with Otis, I don't know if I would put Otis in based. I tell you what, if you give me a good enough argument as to why you think Otis should go in based, Promanicus, we'll think about it. We'll consider it. And while you do that, we'll go and take a... Oh, my man Roa has to be in based. There's no way Roa doesn't go in based, right? Otis is Kaiba time travel. Otis... So you joke, Zaki boys, but Otis has some really weird lore and backstory. Otis is there and not there in sevens. Kinda. But yeah, Roa for me definitely goes into base tier. Probably above Gavin. Roa is so... Again, he's one of those characters that steals the show. Every time they're in an episode, it's like, bam. Roa's here. Roa, one I would marry. I don't think I'd put him up in the wood tier, but, like, I think he definitely goes in the base tier. Like, I really like Roa as a character. I think he is one of the better Sevens characters, in my opinion. Based because he went against the whole company just to have fun and gave Yuga Sevens Road just to keep dark. That is a very compelling argument. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to rearrange some of this a little bit, because this is getting a bit awkward. Silvio needs to be, like, up here. If we're putting Otis up here, he's going to be, like, down this end of it, I think. Roa being a performer definitely helps him steal the show. Yes. I mean, same with, like, Silvio, right? I mean, he kind of becomes a performer. He doesn't really start out as one, but when he does, he definitely does steal the show. Where are we at? Ooh, Tremolo. I really like Tremolo, but he's not based. Is Tremolo based? Is Tremolo based? So, Tremolo kind of has a harem. And he neglects all of them. He just doesn't care. He's just like, I've got all of these women that are, like, fawning after me, and I do not care. And I think a lot of that is very based energy. His deck is kind of lame, and he's kind of, like, compared to his brother, he looks a lot worse. But I think if we take his brother out of the equation, if it's just him, I think middle of based is pretty good for him. Like, he does have big based energy, right? Tremolo, my beloved. Roa keeps too many things to himself because he doesn't like people knowing he's not as edgy. He literally pretends to not remember someone he was opening up to just to get back to being edgy. That's fine, though. That is completely fine. Yes, he is based. We start for Phaser, we end for Tremolo. Tremolo cares too much about his brother. Nice young man. What are we ranking here? Hello, Loz. We are ranking every Yu-Gi-Oh! Male character in a Husbando tier list that we were kind of doing for a meme, but has since evolved into far more than that. So we have, our tiers are would marry, based, so just based male characters, nice young men, the Who tier, which are people I don't remember or haven't seen their show, and then the dumpster tier. This is just where people that we don't like go. And just to show you, is the dumpsters. But hello, Loz. Haven't spoken to you in a while. Hope you're doing alright, my friend. Put Disortea in wood. We're only doing men at the moment, Shui. We might do a follow-up where we do the women. But we're only doing men at the moment. The thing is, so for me, again, I don't have much in the way of sexual attraction to any of these characters. So doing this is quite simple. When it gets to female characters, it then becomes a bit like Rebecca Hawkins is like, like 12 or something, or like 14. And I just like, I don't know about that. But like when it's characters I have no no desires for whatever, I'm just like, I like these characters. I think they're cool. It becomes a lot easier for me to rank them. For someone who is not up to date with slang, based means what now? Based means like what's like the easiest way to like get that across? Like cool, I guess. Badass. We're gonna go with that. That's like kind of loose interpretations. And he's a male streamer, so we're dodging that creepy sexist accusations, apparently. Not dodging the misogyny accusations, though. Oh, yeah, 100%, 100%. Oi, mate, did you know your cousin recently appeared in Poppy Playtime? Pianosaurus. I have not. So, Poppy Playtime is something I've always been aware of, and I keep up to date with it like a little bit. I've never actually played any of the games, personally. Waifu tier going to be 100 wood and 1 dumpster. Good man. I usually lurk and just enjoy the vibe. Good. As long as you're in a good spot right now. Because I know last time I think we spoke, you were studying for your masters, if I recall correctly. Hope that's going well. Yeah, something like cool or badass is pretty accurate. Sorry, I was making a joke because tomato sauce and Pianosaurus sound very similar. Yes. I mean, that is completely fine, my friend. I vote for Asana Dumpster. What do you mean? What do you mean? They're both so good, Asana and Osaka. Who's next? Astral. Oh, what do we do with Astral? Astral's like a nice young man. I have such a love-hate relationship with Astral because I feel like Yuya or Yuga. God, I'm trying to think of what his name is now. Yuma without Astral is basically garbage, right? So like Astral's kind of like a little bit stuck up, but he's also like super polite. Like I kind of like Astral. Like again, I haven't seen all of the show, but I've seen enough of it to have a good opinion on like who Astral is, and I do like him. I think he's an alright character. But if you're wondering, he appeared for altogether 20 seconds and then gets killed off by another character shortly after, and he was one of the major teasers for the chapter. That's very funny. That's kind of the big bait and switch. Everyone know Tomato and Piano go with each other, basically. Most of the women characters are children, but most of the male characters are children as well, to be honest. Welcome to anime. Yep, halfway through the first year in the MA, passed the probation in my job. As a well-being assistant, so job security, and I was told today I will earn a few extra pennies, so awesome. I don't get a lot of time for Twitch or socializing, but doing good. Well, as long as you're in a good place, that's what really matters, right? Hopefully your hard work will pay off in such a way that you will get a bit more free time. Fingers crossed. Astro seems like he comes from money, but has poor friends. I kind of get that vibe. I get what you're saying. A waifu tier list will be 10 minutes of ranking characters and 50 minutes of expanding that Mimi is explaining that Mimi is actually 37. That doesn't need that long of an explanation, to be honest. Hope you're doing well. Seen your streams have been doing well recently, which is awesome to see. Yeah, we've been doing all right. We've been doing okay. To be fair, though, we just basically stream for fun. Like, we're not really too worried about like numbers or anything like that. We're just vibing. Granted, he was the big monster that was stalking you throughout the game. You lied, doesn't get killed off, but did the game. I see. Who's next? Who is next? I don't know who this is. I straight up don't know who that is. Following that is Nightmare. This is like... I mean, do we put Nightmare in based? Like... So this is basically the dark side of Atticus that in the final season that was never brought out in English for Yu-Gi-Oh! GX duels against Jaden, right? Is that the one? Blood Shepherd, I think. He plays drones. We're talking about this guy, right? Blood Shepherd. Let me Google it. Blood Shepherd. Kenneth Drayden? Yeah. Again, I have nothing to go by. Apparently, he has quite a long Wikipedia page. So I assume he's actually kind of important. And he plays Despair from the Dark in his deck, apparently. He's very one-dimensional, but he's okay. We'll just leave him in Who if I don't, like, know him. But yeah, I think Darkness... I don't know. Darkness is a bit weird. Just because... Or what is it? Night Shroud is his English name. He's like a skeleton, right? He's a skeleton that kind of just wants to destroy everything. He wants to engulf all humanity into his realm, and was thwarted by Jaden. So he's kind of like vanilla Big Boss, but he is kind of cool. Darkness who? Said everyone who watched dub. Yeah, basically, he's Night Shroud. He's Night Shroud. He's a weird, like... I don't know, I like him. I like him as a character. I don't know if Darkness ever got an official English name. Well, it was like Night Shroud was the name of Atticus's persona, right? So it's like kind of that. So yeah, they did meet Astral and Rook would probably get along. Can't believe Grandpa Yugi isn't based. He is a little badass. I mean, I don't dislike Grandpa, but I don't think I like him that much to put him in based. Need an edgelord category. I mean, a lot of edgelords will probably just end up on wood, like when we eventually get to them. Like this is like a skeleton though, so he's not gonna go up there. I had the power to destroy your world, but you had a trap card, so like I guess I just won't. That's kind of based energy, right? Respects the rules. Who's next? Okay, all right. Does anyone disagree with Yami Marek being slapped straight into wood? I think Yami Marek is one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh characters ever written. I think he is fun. I think he's interesting. I think he's sadistic and insane, which are both pluses. There is like nothing bad to say about Yami Marek, in my opinion. Robopi should be based. I can't put him in based if I don't know who he is. That's just how it be. When I've watched it, maybe we can do a redo. But I genuinely think Yami Marek is just amazing. He's basically... A Yami Marek would be a knight you'd remember and compare all your future partners' game to. Makes sense, keep going. Then watch Frades. I can't do it right now! Right, which one is this? Is this Vector? Or is this Dumon? I don't recognize them in Baryon form, is the issue. I think Vector and Baryon form is like yellow. So this is Dumon? This one's Vector? Because if it's Vector, Vector's going like up here somewhere. Because Vector is awesome. I absolutely love Vector. We should watch Vrains in Discord. I mean, maybe. Never say never. This one's Vector. Yeah, Vector, I think out of all of the Baryons, Vector is my favorite. Bearing in mind again, I have still not watched the all of Zexal. I have not seen every episode that Vector is in. So take that with a pinch of salt. I still know enough about him from clips and specific duels to know that he is awesome. I would prefer if he wasn't in Baryon form, not gonna lie. Luke. Luke for me goes in Nice Young Man. Isn't it Night Shroud in English? Well, the thing is we never get to see Night Shroud separated from Atticus, and I don't remember if in the Japanese he has a different name when he's in his Night Shroud persona versus when he's like Darkness skeleton form. Tomato should watch Vrains in Discord. People can drop in and do watch parties or whatever. Or Daddy's the most insane one. A funny story. I'm with my boyfriend and I'm making him watch your tier list. So teach him well. Well, that's always a good thing. That's always a good thing. Now, the question is, does your boyfriend agree with or disagree with any of this? That's the next question. Very important. Very important. I would get very annoyed if I knew Luke IRL. Yeah, Luke would be fine in small bursts, right? I would not want to marry Luke. I would not want to see Luke every single day for the rest of my life. That would just get frustrating, which is why I don't think I could put him higher than Nice Young Man. It's the same thing I have for Maddox, right? Maddox, great in small bursts. Too much Maddox, though. Not a fan. I didn't finish sevens, and Luke lost any... did Luke lose any games? I mean, he lost his very first game against Yuga, right? As I said, not sure. Been a while. He doesn't watch Yu-Gi-Oh! But knows who Revolver and Zuijo are because I never shut up. And then Hikari gets hit with the ads. I mean, they're both good characters. Oh, here we go. Guys. Phaser? Is anyone going to argue? Is anyone going to argue that Phaser should be in tier 1? We would be in the wood tier. Phaser is an alien space dragon that eats, like, alien space paper or sheets. I think it's like a fabric material that he eats. That runs a company, introduced maximum summoning back into Go Rush, and I suppose to the Go Rush universe, because it didn't really exist before that, because it's weird, timey-wimey stuff. He's also just a badass. He is always, like, the focal point of every episode that he's in. He doesn't eat it. Does he not eat it? What does he do with it? Does he, like... He does something with it. He makes it. He makes it for the other guy to eat. Right, it's Shuabara that eats it. Right. Phaser in wood. The world still has hope. I mean, Phaser can't go anywhere other than wood, right? He's too... powerful, right? Quantum cubes. We're just gonna refer to this character as quantum cubes. I mean, nice young man. I mean, he's the world champion of Rush. Now, but in all seriousness, I actually think this guy, was it Igami or whatever his name is, was probably the worst part of the D-Sod movie. Alright, personality-wise, he's fine, right? Personality-wise, he can go here. I think appearance-wise, he can also go here. What he does to the movie he's in, though, is really bad. Because, one, it does the whole, like, dimension dueling thing, which I personally just did not like it. I did not like the dimension duel part of that movie whatsoever. I think as a villain, obviously when he fuses with the Millennium Ring, he is like the worst iteration of the Millennium Ring that we've ever seen. He is like, I actually prefer Alexander the Great with the Millennium Ring to Igami with the Millennium Ring. I think the movie was like really good in spite of him. But like, again, appearance-wise and personality-wise, just him on his own, he is fine. I would probably have him, like, here. Igami would for sure. Let's cancel Tomato. I don't know if I'd have him in wood. Igami's cubic deck is interesting, at least. I've never really been a big fan of his cubic cards, if I'm perfectly honest. Like, cubic, I've always seen as being a bit of a gimmick deck. Oh no, Rush, I'm gonna have a nightmare tonight. Hello, Kim friend, welcome in. Not gonna lie, I forgot that Igami's boss monster in the movie because he got cooked by both Kaiba and Yugi. Yeah, I don't think I'd want him higher than here. I think this is fine. Who's next? Reginald Shark Castle. Alright. I need to explain a few things. I have not seen enough of Zexal, right? I have heard that Shark actually gets a really good story as you go through. But from what I have seen, he is so lame, right? He is not good edgy. He is bad edgy. But again, from what I've heard, when you get through the later seasons, when you get his motivation, when you find out about his younger sister, he improves. So, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and we're going to put him into Nice Young Man. Okay? Based on what I have seen myself with my own eyes from the episodes, he would be in Dumpster. But, based on what I know about the character, we're going to put him into Nice Young Man. And again, I would really like this to be like the non-Baryon version, because I prefer them when they're not in their Baryon forms, like aesthetically. But Shark Tomato, my edgy boy. We could talk for ages about D-Sod, but I love the movie, but I have a strong disdain for that Atem had to come in and save the day. Yes, I have a same issue with it. I like the fact that Atem was in the movie, but it did feel like this movie was meant to be Yugi, like showing that he's as good as Atem, like reinforcing what happened in the final episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! DM, and then Atem still has to come and save the day, and it's like, I get it, like Yugi doesn't have like magic, but like, I don't know, I don't like it. I don't like the way it ends either, personally. Also, hello D-Naught, welcome. Okay, now you got a problem with me. Okay, where is my boy Joey Wheeler on this list? We haven't gotten to Joey yet. He is still further down the list. We will get to him. Hello, Yami Kisara. As a Baryon, he's better than base form, IMO. Again, I haven't spent enough time with him, so I don't know. Shark is one of the better characters in Zexal, just takes a while. I need to know whether to block you or not, lol. There is no such thing as lame edgy. Oh, there absolutely is. So my example of lame edgy, in my opinion, is the example I always give is Sasuke from Naruto. In my opinion, Sasuke is edgy for the sake of being edgy. I've never really liked him as a character, and this is as someone who, growing up, I loved the edgy characters. I always really loved all of the edgiest characters in everything that I watched. And Sasuke was the first time that I went, just kind of a bit cringe. I never watched Naruto. I mean, in some ways, that's probably a good thing, Hikari. In some ways, that's probably a good thing. A very early Shark is definitely a bit of Jack. Yeah, that is my issue, is what I have seen is basically only very early Shark, which is why I would have him in Dumpster. I know a lot of people are saying based, but I don't think I can put him in base just because I don't know based Shark. Right? I would be putting him in there just to make chat happy and not because I think he deserves to be there. But again, once I've watched the show, I might suddenly have him like up here. But until I've watched it properly and seen all of his episodes, I don't think I can put him much higher. Oh, all right, now. Is that too high? Is that too high? I really like Mizar. I really like Mizar. I like so much about his character. I've seen basically all of his duels as well. Tell me Kaito won't be in wood. Alright, it's a bit spoilery, right? Because, you know, some people are waiting until their character gets called, but Kaito's gonna be in wood, right? There's no way he's not. Mizar should be with Kaito no matter where they end up. That's a good point. We can't separate them. That might actually bump Udius up a bit, to be fair. Spoilers for later. Yeah, Mizar is fantastic. Mizar's staying in wood, I think. I really like Mizar. And Kite's obviously going in wood, so like we can't separate them. Yuma. Does anyone have any problems with Yuma being in Dumpster Tier? Just, we're throwing this out there, right? We're testing the waters, right? Is anyone gonna unfollow the stream for Yuma being in Dumpster? Now, I can't tell if Yuma is saying... if Manicust is agreeing that Yuma should be in Dumpster or if he's disagreeing. I think Yuma has the Luke issue. Nice guy. By that logic, though, I would put him up here. Right next to Luke. Yuma Zexal form, though. Maybe nice young man. Now, I think Yuma... you're all haters. No, Yuma is my favorite protag. Alright. To be fair, Yuma does have a bit of a personality. A lot of the other protagonists are just kind of one note. Like, Yugi is just kind of perfect, and Udius is almost just kind of Yugi again, where, like, they don't really lose. They're kind of always this, like, very stern, confident person. There's not a lot of personality going on, so I can understand that. Yuma at least does have a personality. He does progress through the series. He starts out completely garbage, when he duels with Astral, he suddenly can actually hold his own, and eventually becomes a Super Saiyan, and becomes one of the strongest duelists in the world, right? So, like... You don't get him. You will love Yusaku. Watch Brains. Well, I will watch Brains. We are going to be watching Brains. What the fuck is this? Hello, Parko. Welcome on in. We are doing a Husbando tier list is what we're doing. We will watch Brains. We will watch Brains. Early Yuma can be seen as annoying in early Zexal. Yeah, I mean, the majority of Yuma I have seen is early Zexal. I love early manga Yugi. I mean, that's absolutely fair. Why is Kaizo embased? Why would Kaizo not be embased, Paco? Come on, bro. Kaizo is a bro. Alright, I'm gonna need help with these ones. Who is this? I recognize this. I've seen a duel with these people in. I could not tell you their names or what they look like when they're not in Baryon form. Isn't that Girag? Let's have a look at Girag. Right, yeah, that is Girag. Oh, yes, I've seen him in his non-Baryon form. Yes. What deck does he play? He plays Pressure Point, and then... Oh, he's the hand guy! Guys. They literally in Duel Links? Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean I've, like, unlocked them or played with them a ton. Besides, I recognize the hand guy when he's not in his Baryon form. The other one is... Oh, this is Alito in his Baryon form? I've literally never seen Alito in his Baryon form. I like Alito. He's going, like, up here. Like, he's going, like, towards the top of Nice Young Men, I think. Why is Yugi's grandpa in the Nice Young Man tier? Because we don't have a nice old man tier, and if we did, it would just be him. Okay, that's why. Surely a guy who plays hands knows how to use them. Listen, we're getting very adult-themed here all of a sudden, okay? Alito's design-wise is 10 out of 10. Yeah, I really like Alito. I'm not sure about his Baryon form. This is a bit wonky to me, but... I really like Alito. Alito is definitely my favorite Baryon, and Battling Boxes is my favorite Zexal deck. I'm actually inclined to agree. I really like... I like Gimmick Puppets. I like Galaxy. I really like Trains as well, to be honest. There's a lot of Zexal decks I like. So, like, Battling Boxes is up there, though. I really like Battling Boxes. Tomato is Baryon phobic? Yes. All Baryons look the same. Right? This could be anyone. Same as this. And this. They're all the same face. I don't know what to tell you. True, he rizzed Rebecca's father. Fun fact, Rebecca's father is on this list. Who's next? Ooh. Alright. I think bottom of based. Especially post time skip. Yes, I think I agree with Dino. Early Yuhi, no. Post time skip, when he gets kind of like edgy, he goes up into based. I don't think he should be near the top of based, but I think bottom of based suits him. Yeah, I don't think I need to think about that anymore. I think he's where he deserves to be. This is Paradox from the Bonds Beyond Time movie, I believe. I kind of like Paradox. Like, he's a bit one note, but like aesthetically, I think he looks really cool. His like mission, I guess, like is good in that he's trying to do a good thing, but the reasoning behind him needing to do it is a bit silly. So, like, I think as a character, he's pretty good. His motivation is good, but they don't really explain why his motivation is needed, right? That's the weird part with his character. Can we not put Genocidal Maniac in Nice Young Men? Okay, right, just for that, then we're bumping him up to based. Because we're not putting him lower than Nice Young Men. I'll tell you what, if it'll keep everyone happy as well, we'll bump Grandpa up. Grandpa can be at the bottom of Based as well. Because I think that gets everyone's, like, dislikes out of, like, where they should be. Who's next? Oh, this is, the Professor from Arc V. Let's put him, like, towards the bottom. We're putting him over here. Towards the bottom of Dumpster. Does anyone give a shit about the Professor from Arc V? Does anyone care? Grandpa has experience. I believe Paradox's motivation is tied to the other future guys from 5D's motivation in a different method. That kind of makes sense then. A dumpster trash ass antagonist. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. He's not memorable. Like, when I think about Arc V, I don't even remember the Professor. Like, he is actually just boring. Not interesting. Why is Dumpster below Who? Because Who is like, we don't really care or we don't know them. Dumpster is like, I actively dislike you. So Dumpster has to be at the bottom. That's just the way it goes, right? Can we bump Yuo in Based? No. I'll tell you what. Just to extend an olive branch, I'm going to put Yuo to the bottom of Nice Young Men. Because there isn't a big difference between bottom of Nice Young Men and the top of Dumpster. I think that's fine. Because again, I do think Yuo, by the end of Sevens, after he's like had his redemption arc, is a nice young man. I just think pre his duel with Yuka Goha, he's a bit of a loser. Man went, hey, I know your deck had lost. Basically. Alright, Gong Strong. This is probably going to annoy a lot of people, but I actually really like Gong Strong. He is my favourite character from Arc 5. He genuinely is. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, look, like a hot guy, a hot guy, a hot guy, a hot guy, a hot guy. Oh, it's not take you out. And then Gong Strong. But he's Gong Strong. He's Gong Strong. He's Gong Strong. Like, how could he not be in Wood? Like, it's Gong Strong. My man, literally, is in a universe where everyone duels by sprinting around and getting bonus cards to give themselves unfair advantages. And my man says, my dueling philosophy says I am not going to take a fucking step. And that is so cool. That is so cool. And then he eventually goes against like his father's teachings to learn synchro summoning just for the betterment of his friends and the world. Like Gong Strong is based. Like he is actually so cool. Like he's higher than based. He's definitely Wood. Yes, thank you, S-tier friend dude. Gong Strong is cool as fuck. Gong Strong is hot. Gong Strong is the bro of all bros. One of the few I tolerate from Arc V. Gong Strong has a strong dom. Manicus just comes in with the adult humor, just dropping it in. Gong Strong fits in with the Trapped song. I mean, yeah, I think without a doubt, he's my favorite character from that show. All right, next up we have the Gore. Again, I haven't watched a lot of Zexal, but the Gore is going in based, right? What I know of Gore is he starts off playing either Goki or Dino Wrestler. I want to say he starts with Dino Wrestler and he swaps to Goki, or he starts as Goki and swaps to Dino Wrestler. And I believe he has like a chip on his shoulder about not being able to like win enough. So he becomes combined with an artificial intelligence, right? And that's like his story. Like he's so determined to improve that he basically like gives up part of his humanity. Gora's nice. That's Vrain's buddy. He plays Goki and then Dino. Oh, plays Goki then Dino. I think that is a bit of a downgrade for me. Like Goki seems like a way cooler deck than Dino Wrestler for me. Go Onizuka is probably the only character I despise from Vrain's. Why? Why do you hate him? He seems so cool. He kind of good, but he gives up all his beliefs and his buff bod. Oh, does he give up the buff bod as well? I didn't know that. Character went nowhere. He has a skill that I want badly in Duel Links, anti-skill. I just turn off skills. I like Goki. I kind of like what I've heard about this character, but it seems like chat doesn't like him very much. Alright, since chat seems to really dislike him, I will bump him down to the top of Nice Young Men. I think that's fine. So I don't want to like go completely against chat. And again, I haven't watched it. You guys are going to have a better opinion of him than I am. And I don't mind having him a Nice Young Man. He's still a nice young man. This is a hard one. This legit is a hard one for me. So, Yuri is... He's kind of like... he's a little bit like the Vector, like the Yuga Goha, like the Yami Marek. But he's kind of a bit of a bitch at the same time. So I don't think I would have him in Wood. I think, though, he's better than Nice Young Man. Because he's interesting. Again, he's one of those characters that steals the show. Like, whenever he's on the screen, you know it's going to be a good episode. Let's see what chat's saying. With the old art Soul Burner, I feel like that might actually happen. I mean, it could. Cool for the first arc, then just because he lost against Playmaker becomes depressed and obsessed with revenge for no reason, with no reason ever. Okay, that's fair enough. Yuri would be a horrible husband. You're not wrong, but it would be an exciting marriage. Base tier, easiest base tier, based. Based is correct. He's just a horrible person. Wood. He legit played a loner deck because he wanted to make it interesting. Yeah, I do remember that, actually. He literally beat Alexis with a brand new deck that he never played before. He played, like, the Ancient Gear, like, generic deck, right? That, like, all of their soldiers have. I'll put him here. I think this is a good spot for him. Exciting? Listen, right? Anything that's not boring is exciting. Talking about Poppy playtime earlier, that would, what would it take for you to play through one of the chapters around Halloween? I don't know. I don't really want to go out of my way to buy it. It's a game I'm not super interested in. That'd be my main deterrent. If memory serves me, he actually did know how to use the deck. He just slipped Super Poly into it. He cheated against Alexis. He did know how to use them, and he added in Super Poly, I think. Yeah, that's fine. Yuga. Yuga. He's going in one of these spots, I think. I really like Yuga. Yuga is probably... Between him and Gavin are, like, my favorite characters from Sevens. As in, like, you know, main characters. I don't know if I like Yuga enough to have him in based. What if I donated money for you to purchase Chapter 1? I would recommend you hold on to your money. And at the very least, I would wait until we're much, much closer to the time. That is what I would say. But yeah, I'm not opposed to, like, playing Halloween games at Halloween. What if, you know, you get in based, he's smart and fun. I see we're almost near Ryokan. Oh no, will I be triggered? Yuga is based, Wood, then he is an elementary. That, again, Wood is Wood Marry. Wood is not Wood. Okay, Yami Kusari, you know, we're just saying. Because a lot of these characters are children by those metrics. And he's an elementary. Yuga is arguably my favorite protag. Yeah, I really like Yuga as a protagonist. I don't think I like him as much as these characters up here, though. I think I like him as top of based. Alright, Kite. Kite. Right, the hardest question is going to be who is higher up on this list. Because Kite was always being tier 1, right? Kite's character is amazing. His deck is amazing. His motivation is amazing. Everything about Kite is awesome. I wouldn't marry Yuga. Yuna is going to be at my head. Very true. I'm not gonna lie. Yuga and Land from the Mega Man Battle Network series could probably get along. Probably. Also, the one of the protagonists from Duel Masters also looks very similar to him. Has Lil Yugi come out yet? No, he has not been on here yet. Maids is hotter than Kaito. Kite has a lot more character progression. Oh, Zexal or Arc V is a good question. I think we're going to just kind of say it's all of it. So we'll say Arc V because that's like the more modern iteration of him. Kite stop rain, so better than Maiza. Ooh, we got some contention. Some people in the chat like one, some people like the other. Who is this guy? I don't recognize this. I might know who he is if I see another picture of him, but I do not recognize this character. This guy. If anyone Who is this guy? Listen, I just haven't. Right, give me another picture. What's this? Is this Revolver? That's what Revolver looks like. Holy shit! I have only ever seen Revolver in the full Revolver getup. Right, Revolver's going into based. Is Revolver going above Gong Strong though? Right, I'm not... Right, to be fair, right, in my defense, this character in this picture, the revolver picture here, he looks like a background character in this specific image. With the clothes that he's wearing, with the way he's like lit up, he does not look like a main character. He's above literally everyone. Ooh, I don't know about that. I think we could maybe bring a 10 down a bit. I think I can move this up. I'm also quite happy to move these up. I'm tempted to do this. I think I like this. For the comment, he stays below Gong. Well, I think we move Gong all the way up. Gong is just like the best bro, right? For the content, he stays below Gong. No, he looks like a supermodel. Shake my head. I mean, okay, he doesn't look bad, but he, like, when you think Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist, you think insanely weird hair, right? Especially from, like, that era. Gong will definitely last in wood. You can't bring him higher. Why would you want to marry Yami Marek, by the way? Why would you not? Why would you not want to marry Yami Marek? He lights up the room with only his eyes. Bro, he's not playing. Again, I'm talking to you about this one still image. Not about the character. Not about every single thing he does. This one image does not scream main character to me. That's all I'm saying. Tomato and some weird shit confirmed. I never said I wasn't. I agree that specific, because Gong is number one. Yes. Gong is amazing. I don't know, put Revolver in Nice Young Man. Blows plays Rocket and lost a good amount of duels. Bro plays Meta and loses. Yeah, but at the same time, Boral is awesome, right? Borreload, Boral Sword, Borreload Savage. Like, every boss monster in this guy's deck is awesome. Every time I've seen him play, he is awesome. Like, I don't want to put him lower than Wood, personally. And plus, he's a good-looking guy, right? I'm just saying. Now, Tomato needs to watch frames. I mean, yeah. We'll get there. Jack Atlas. Ooh. Alright. English Jack Atlas with the Australian accent. Down here. Sub Jack Atlas. Probably here. Somewhere around here. I think Jack Atlas, especially when he's the king, is so good, right? Red Demon's Dragon! He's like, I am the king! Like, every single scene he's in, again, absolutely insane. Like, he is commanding presence. He's awesome. Jack can't cook, though. That is a good point. That will dock him a few points, but I suppose that's why he's not on wood, right? Like, I would expect, at the very least, half of these people in wood could cook. I think that's a very important distinction to make. Don't you dare put Jack below base. No, he's not going below base. He did say, I want to duel though, so that's kind of based. That is pretty based. You said, like all men know how to cook. Most men should know how to cook, right? I'm just saying. If you don't know how to cook, you need to work on that. Crow. I like Crow. I don't think Crow is based. Is Crow based? Crow does look after orphans. That is kind of based. He's also like not a dark signer, but still plays with the big boys. Like, Crow is a cool character. I doubt Crow showers. Crow is above Jack for sure. Oh, I don't know about that. Crow comes with baggage. He does come with baggage. But, like, it's baggage I would be happy to carry, you know? I think I'm going to put Crow, like, up to here. I don't think I'm going to put above Jack. I think Jack is just awesome, especially in sub. Those are your orphans too, if you would like it. I know on Twitter there is a really weird user that simps for Crow like really bad. It's Hikari. Okay, it's Hikari. Right, Soul Burner. Soul Burner. I like Soul Burner. He's very like outwardly optimistic. I think Salads are like a cool deck. I've seen a couple of Soul Burner duels. I haven't seen all of Soul Burner. So I'm willing to put them based from what I've seen. I don't know if I would have him higher if I knew him entirely. From what I've seen, he's a really cool character. I think he does seem cool. And he does get the title of like the only character in a Yu-Gi-Oh world that's an actual series that was the first playable character before the actual pro tag. Wood Theodore Hamilton, baby. Tomato, bro is trying to start a national bank for Yu-Gi-Oh. If you knew IRL Soul Burner, he looks like a nerd. I mean, again, I don't know what he looks like when he's not... this is what I mean. Why have we got, like, Revolver not in outfit, but we have got Soul Burner, like, digital Soul Burner, right? Tomorrow Hikari going to make her own list and going to ban anyone who questions her list. Potentially. I'd watch it. I'd get banned, probably. Yubel. Yubel is a bit like Damamu, where we don't really know the gender. All right, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. Yubel's deck, dumpster. I hate Gluebell. I think playing against Yubel and Duel Links is actually some of the worst experience that I've ever had. I actually think Yubel's deck in Duel Links, awful. I hate her deck. Or their deck. As a character, I think they're actually pretty cool. I don't know if I'd put them in based, but I think it would be like towards the top of Nice Young Men. No, I'm a democratic. Hey, we let things influence us here. Yes, Soul Burner in regular clothes is such a downgrade. He also spends his last scene basically trying to smash a girl and they make sex puns. That's a bit weird for Yu-Gi-Oh! Yubel would, I don't care. Happy birthday, Tomato. Hello, Cyclone Valley. Welcome. You know what? I will make my own tier list since you didn't invite me to this one. What do you mean you're here now? The thing is, right, again, the big issue with doing like a collab thing is we've already not got long left of the stream and we've barely finished this. So having like Hikari jabbing me from the side with a sharp stick every time I say I don't like something would make it just take 3 times as long. Never trust an Italian. I don't know about that. Is this the Spider Dark Signer guy? I don't think he's in the dumpster, but I don't think he's going to go very high. Why? Yeah, I don't... the Dark Sign is kind of whatever. Obviously, there's like some of them are better than others. Not true, sweetie, what do you mean? This guy is this the guy like Dr. Light or something? He's like the guy... I'm trying to remember. He's the guy that's like holding Kite's sister hostage or something, if it's who I remember it is. I legit can't remember who he is. I'm pretty sure it's the guy that like has Kite's sister. Dr. Faker. Let me Google this quick to make sure it is who I think it is. The primary antagonist of the first 3 arcs of Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, the father of Kite Tenjo and Heart Tenjo, the founder of the Heartland City itself. Yeah, it is who I think it is. Yeah, garbage. Get dumpster, straight into the dumpster. Unironically good dad after Arc 1. That's Dr. Faker. He's the creepy sex pervert. Okay. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Imagine in her tier list, she switched everyone in dumpster with Wood just to fuck with Tomato. Could you imagine? All right, for one moment, let's entertain that idea. Right, let's just entertain that idea. So by that logic, Hikari would marry Weevil, marry Dr. Faker. Alistair's probably all right, right? I think realistically, Hikari wouldn't be too sad about Alistair. Anubis I mean, he's got a nice body. I can't remember what this guy's name is. He's like the Shadow Duelist guy. The random muscly guy from the first episode of Arc V. The specky kid, the Exodia guy, the professor. Do you think Hikaru would want any of these in Wood? Maybe Alistair. Maybe she wouldn't mind Alistair, but that's about it. This guy's what? Atiminin? I can't remember what his name is. He's the crap, what are they called? TG. He's TG, the TG guy. I like the TG guy. Antinomy? I'm really bad at pronouncing his name. I want to put him in base. Literally, this is a garbage theme deck. Most of them are not children. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. A random muscly guy. How dare you? That's freaking Sledgehammer. Bruno. Oh, is his name Bruno? It's been so long since I've seen, especially the final season. Antonomy's pretty cool. I think Antonomy's pretty cool. Is anyone against him being in base? Like, I like him. Raphael. I like Raphael. I don't know if Raphael deserves to be better than Nice Young Man. I always call him Ain't No Way. I'll be fair. Raphael is like... He's a bit of a weird character. His deck is ass. He breaks the rules to play his deck a lot of the time. He's one of the few people that beats Yugi. He's like... He's a character that's clearly like in the wrong, but you kind of root for them and you can understand his point of view. Which makes him like a bit more of a compelling character. But I don't really want to have him in based. Although, saying that, his whole thing is that he doesn't want any of his monsters to go to the graveyard, and that's kind of based. But I don't know. I don't know if we should have him any higher. Oh, crap. What's this guy's name? He's one of these guys. We're just putting him in with his friends. You can go straight into the dumpster. I forget all of their names. Who's next? We're not going to do any of the thingies, because they mean so little to me specifically. Next up is... This is the Cloudian guy. What was his name? Adrian was his English name? Nice Young Man? Arporia? He's the combination of the other three. Yeah, I have no interest whatsoever. I can tell you that right now. Adrian has a weird shaped body, and at one point he takes his shirt off and starts fist fighting one of the teachers. I've never been a huge fan of him, personally, but like he's not... I don't dislike him. I'm just not really a big Adrian fan. Right, who is this? Who dat? I don't recognize this man. Based on the way he looks, he's probably from Vrains? But yeah, I have no idea who that is. This is some sort of evil astral that I have never seen before. He plays Odin. Oh, he's one of the three Norse god brothers. I don't really know much about his character, but I think he, at the very least, should be up here somewhere. Because I mean, he looks good, right? Like he's not a bad-looking guy. From Team Ragnarok, yeah. Number 96. What is that? This guy, the evil. Because this is where we're going to start getting some weird stuff. The Mech Lord disrespect? What do you mean? What do you mean, Grand Harrier? Mech Lords deserve to be in dumpster tier. Again, I don't know who Shadow Astral is. If I knew, I would probably go quite high, because I do quite like the edgy characters. This guy is a Vrains... Not Vrains. He's a Zexal antagonist, but I can't remember what his name is. He plays... He's the... he plays the OTK strat, right? I can't remember what the frick it's called. What is his name? Or is he not? Is it someone else? I'm getting confused with someone else now, I think. That's Vetrix. Oh, he's the Heraldic Beast guy. Right. My main knowledge of Vetrix is from one of the Yu-Gi-Oh games. Do we care? Do we care? He can go next to Yuo. He can be Yuo's friend. Yuo needs a friend. He can be Yuo's friend. Kind of sad that Vetrix didn't Indolence. Why is, like, because theoretically they could still put him in as a character, right? We'll have to wait and see. But hello, Grand Harry, by the way. I never said hello. Welcome, welcome. What's next? Jesse. Jesse's a weird one. I don't think Jesse needs to be embased, but I do quite like Jesse. I think Jesse could probably be a nice young man. Crystal Beasts are a deck that I have such a love-hate relationship with. And as a character, Jesse is like... he's fine. I think I actually prefer Jesse when he gets combined with Yubel. Or like possessed by Yubel. Jesse's like fine. I don't think we need to spend too much time on Jesse. Alright, Zane. Alright. For me, I think Zane's going here. I have always been a massive Zane fanboy. Zane is just one of those characters where even after you forget about GX, you still remember Zane, right? Zane is such a badass. Cyber Dragon is such a cool archetype. Cyber Dark, they gotta leave it. I always really liked Zane's arc as well. The only thing that was a bit weird with Zane was I feel like they speed ran Edgy Zane, right? He was like having a great time, then he like loses to Edo, and then he goes straight into like Edgy Zane, like pretty much almost effortlessly, right? Where's the KC Stage 1 tomato? I mean, don't worry about it. We'll get to it eventually. It just might be on another day because this is taking quite a long time. Wood times 100 billion. Not even a question. Before Jesse has Rainbow Dragon, how the hell did he beat everyone in his school? Well, you just do the OTK, right? You just use Crystal Abundance, wipe your opponent's board, swarm your board, and then just attack your opponent for lethal. That's what you do. Where the KC Stage 1? Yeah, we've already done that. Yeah, I think Zane or Hell Kaiser Ryu definitely deserves to be tier 1. Kaiba. I really like Kaiba, but I think Kaiba is probably going to be towards the bottom. Now, right, as Husbando material, Kaiba's pretty good. He'd treat you right. You know, he's going to have all the money in the world. He's also a bit of a prick. Last stream he said he's going to play Maid, but he didn't, so don't worry about if we do or do not play, okay? We'll get to it eventually, one of these days. Bastion. Oh, I really like Bastion as well. Bastion is a character that had so much potential and was kind of squandered, but as an actual character, I still really like him. Kaiba's a good provider, compared to Blue Eyes every 5 seconds. Kaiba is one of the better rival characters in my opinion. Kaiba would stalk you if you tried to leave, but he turned on blood to get their fortune. Kaiba only care about Yugi and Mokuba. Well, he also cares about the Blue Eyes. You just have to become his new Blue Eyes. That's what you have to do. I really like Bastion. Bastion is like... I like him as a character. I like the way he's written. There was a lot of unseen potential. Is that Shui raiding with 8 duelists? Welcome, welcome on in. You've caught us doing our Yu-Gi-Oh! Husbando tier list. We're just going through all of the male characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! And basically rating them. But hello, friends. Welcome on in. Hopefully there might be some Duel Links in a bit. We were planning to play Duel Links, but this is taking a little bit longer than expected. Put Shui on the top of the list. He's not in the tier list, I don't think, I'm afraid. Bastion has the best wife in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. I mean, potential. But hello, welcome on in, Prostrate. Alright. Yuto. I really like Yuto. I don't think Yuto is going to be lower than based. Tomato needs to do longer streams. I'm too busy all the time is the issue. Hello, Raider Valley. Why are you doing a tier list on Husbando? We're doing a tier list on Husbando because we were kind of talking about it before as kind of a joke, and then we just did it. That's basically how the Tomato Sauce channel works. That's basically how we do things here. I wish they did more with Yuto. Yeah, I really like Yuto. I thought the weirdest thing they did with Yuto was having him lose to Yugo. Because in my mind, I always saw Yuto as being stronger than Yugo. Obviously, you know, Clearwing is a busted-ass card. But Yuto should also theoretically be able to counter it. Because he doesn't have a level 5 or higher. Because he's an Xyz. He has a rank. So I was like, yeah, Yuto should just easily win this. Then he just loses, and it's just like, eh. I understand why, because they wanted to like merge him with Yuya and do that whole shtick. But I always think he got like a really bad deal with it. Has Jack Atlas gone yet? Jack Atlas is here. He's in base. He's right next to Silvio, and he's right next to Bastion. We don't want to put 10-year-old girls in wood. 10-year-old boys, though, apparently is fine. Actually, is there any young people in here? I don't know how old Gong is. Other than, I mean, Atem, depending on how you look at it, is kind of young. Why is Bruno not on top? Is it because he's a machine? So what? Well, we have a machine down here. Machine and based. Good old Kaizo. He suffers from the fact Arc 5's writing went on a downward spiral from Synchro onwards. I would argue that some of the worst writing in Arc 5 was during the Synchro arc. And then it kind of got better. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion. I really liked the Heartland arc. I liked the Fusion Dimension arc as well. I just think there was a mass... Like, Synchro went on way too long and tried to introduce too many weird themes. Still had some really cool bits and bobs, but I think the weakest parts of it for me was during that one arc. Why is Yubel on the list? What's wrong with Yubel being on the list? Yubel is both male and female. I believe his Gong is 14 or 5. That's fine then. That's okay in Japan. Don't worry about it. So next up... speak of the devil. Nice young man. I don't want Yugo any higher than this. I always thought Yugo was a bit boring. Out of all of the Yu characters in Arc 5, I always thought he was the weakest. He's kind of peppy. He's fun. But, like, again, he's kind of in the Luke tier of I wouldn't want to speak to him every single day. I don't know how Rin puts up with him. Exactly. That's kind of how I feel. Like, he's alright. It'd be fine in short bursts. Oh, God. This is the guy from GX that is an old man that absorbs the power of the Sacred Beast. I cannot remember what his name is. He can go on top of Dumpster. Especially since, like, he only is in this form very briefly. And other than that, he's just an old man all the time. So he can live in Dumpster, I think. Put Yugo next to Yuma. I can't with this man. What do you mean? Where's Yuma? Where is Yuma? Is Yuma, like, slipping? Have I lost Yuma? There he is. He's over here. There you go. We can put him up there with him. That's fine. The Sacred Beast user, yeah. Ooh, the Dark King. Right, for me, Supreme King is going like here-ish. I like the Supreme King. I think it's a more interesting version of Jaden for me. I kind of like the baddies as well. We gotta love the baddies. But you gotta remember, underneath this, he's still Jaden. Okay, but you can't help him get the power of the Sacred Beasts of cards again. I mean, that sounds like a lot of hoops to jump through to get your man to look a bit younger. He's clearly a nice young man. Definitely could be. Who is this? Is this the... I don't know who this is. Jaden Yubel solos? Maybe potentially. I really don't know who this is. Anyone knows, feel free to let me know. Until then, we're going to move on. Oh, Vector. Right, we're going to start moving stuff around because we got some non-Baryon forms coming. Crazy dude that beat Yuzu in Synchro. The guy with the Earthbound in Arc V. Is this the guy that, like, hurts himself? And, like, has, like, the weird masochist guy? The Earthbound prison guy. Surge, he was the one who hurt himself in his duel. Yes. Alright, in which case I do remember him. I think he's going in the dumpster, realistically. Surge, he's the one who... Pegasus. Oh, guys, I know a lot of people aren't going to understand. But Pegasus is going into Based. Pegasus is one of the best written characters ever in Yu-Gi-Oh! He is one of the coolest characters. He has a toon deck. He made the game. He's rich. He's a little bit on the older side, but, like, we don't know how old he is. Right? Look at him. Just ignore the fact he had a wife. Listen, that's fine. That's completely fine. Put him in Nice Young Man. Why? We can't just have everyone in Nice Young Man. Pegasus loves his wife. He would be great as a husband. Exactly. He's 24. Exactly. That's the thing. He looks like he's an older man, but he's actually young. Pegasus based. He lured a bunch of kids on a private island. That is kind of based. That is kind of based. Keyword had. Exactly. He could move on from that. We could fix him. Speaking of people we could fix. Yami Bakura. Yami Bakura. I think it's got to be Wood, right? Yami Bakura is such a good character. Pegasus is Epstein. Jesus Christ, Manicus. Listen, right? There's lines we just try not to cross. I think Yami Bakura goes in Wood. We don't actually have that many, like, feminine men up here. Like, we definitely have a few, but we don't have, like, a wide variety of them. Is D-Sod Bakura in here? We'll find out soon. I would want to be Bakura's wife. Yeah, I mean, most people would. If it was a bridge series. Only the abridged, though. I don't recognize this man. Is this the Machina guy? So judgmental. I'm trying to remember who this is. Is this the guy that uses Machina Force? Machina Force. We go on here. Appearances. Machina Force was used in the show, right? Like, Machina Sniper was used. Barrett from Arc V, he's the Beastborg guy. I don't remember that at all. Let's have a look. Barrett. Oh, I do remember this. I do remember this. Okay, he's definitely being in the Nice Young Man tier. He's not going in base, though. Machina was used in 5Ds, yeah. Dumpster, he plays stun? Nah. We don't mind stun players in here. Because by that logic, we couldn't have, like, Yami Marek, right? The fact you have to look him up means he should be in who. But, alright, so who is, like, I literally don't have an opinion. Like, when I have to look stuff up, that means I do know who it is. I just don't remember them off the top of my head, right? Dumpster. Ooh, okay. This is going to be a toughie. I think this is based. I don't think it goes higher than based. I think we're also going to move Bastion down a little bit. I'm back, I was driving. Welcome back, Hikari. We've moved things around a little bit. Just straight into wood? I mean, maybe. At least put Bowman at the end of Nice Young Man, since you never saw him. Okay. No one's going behind Yuo. That is our rule. And Yuo had a friend, so he can go there. Aigami is just based. Yeah, I like Aigami. I don't think Aigami is, like, insanely good as a character. Who's next? It is Sartorius. Alright, am I the only one who doesn't like Sartorius? I think Sartorius is a bit lame. I always thought it was a bit of a boring character. His, like, whole thing of, like, fortune-telling in the Society of Light is kind of lame. Like, he's not bad looking, right? He's an okay-looking chap. But not really husbando material. Would not marry, his hair is weird. That is true. That's very true. Chaz Princeton. Or, God, what's the Japanese name for Chaz? It was Manjome Thunder. Manjome Thunder has to be Wood. I'm sorry, this is happening, right? He is my favorite GX character. Chaz, without a doubt, is my favorite GX character. And again, he's rich. That's always a bonus. It's always a bonus. Flip a coin and pick which side. White Supreme. Ooh. Chaz, 100,000,000%. Just Manjuni. Chaz would better be in Wood. Yeah, I think he deserves to be up here. I mean, always 1, 10, 100, 1,000. Manjome Thunder. Always. Alright. I'm not a huge fan of Edo. Quantum Rush is up. I can't actually play in Quantum Rush today, but I will advertise it for shoresies. So I'll go ahead and chuck that in the chat in case anyone wants it. But I am actually busy this evening, so I 100% cannot play in this, which is very, very sad. I'll also post it in my Discord as well, just to try and let that go, because I know Quantum doesn't post stuff in my Discord, so we'll just slap that in there. His name Chaz Princeton because he'd be my prince. I think that's fair. I think that's a very accurate take here. Arc V Edo or GX Edo, because I don't like Arc. I don't really like either. I almost kind of prefer Arc V Edo. I've never been a big Edo fan. Like, again, I like some of the Destiny heroes, but Tomato doesn't play Rush anymore. Sag. I can't play 10 PM. That's the issue. I can't play that late at the moment. That's my current concern. I was gonna play in the Dynasty one, but I just, again, busy on the day. It sucks, but that's just kind of the world we live in at the moment. Asta in SS3 for Bald Girl. Woe base take Tomato. Arc V Edo is better. I mean, that's my opinion as well. I do prefer Arc V Edo, but I still don't think he's like that impressive of a character. Alright, Vector. Actual Vector. Non-Baryon Vector. I think realistically we're keeping these together. I think in Baryon form he gets even more expressive, but I think he looks better when he's in regular form, right? I think this is fine. That's Quattro. Oh, for God's sake. Quattro is still great. This is the issue with me not knowing what the Baryon forms look like. Which one's Quattro? Quattro is the thingy one, right? We're finding out. Yeah, he's the gimmick puppet guy. Arguably... Oh, actually, which one do I prefer? I like both of these characters. I think they're still going near each other. The disrespect. I haven't seen it! What do you want? I have to go to a meeting real quick. If I comes up where I'm going to put him in wood and no spoilers, Quattro don't have Baryon form, Tom. Oh, does he not? Again, I haven't seen it. I genuinely thought he had a Baryon form. I genuinely thought that was a thing. Baryon forms tend to have the same hair. Vector's human form is orange hair. Yeah, Vector is the one where, like, he seems very happy-go-lucky, and then he ends up being, like, an absolute madman. You should know 4 anyway. Who's 4? Oh, it's Quattro. Oh, it's literally 4. Right. Because his English name is Quattro, but his Japanese name is 4, because both of them mean 4. I see. I mean, probably Nice Young Man. I think. Nice Young Man, I'm quite happy with. I don't think you go and based. Or is Quattro's Japanese name? Yeah, the siblings in Japanese are based on numerals. That does make things a little easier. This is... What's his name? I can't remember what his name is, but he is the... If I recall correctly, he is the... What's the archetype called? The like Mauis and stuff. Oh, what is the archetype called? Trey. Yes, Trey. What is his deck called? I'm having like a massive... It's like Vermana and stuff. I cannot remember what the heck that archetype is called. Chronomaly. Thank you. Well, that took absolute brain fart moment there. I like Trey. I don't think Trey is like that interesting, but I think I put him towards the bottom of based. I do really like Chronomaly as a deck as well. I think that's fine. I think we'll put him like towards the bottom of based. Yuya's dad. I'm actually quite a big fan of Yuya's dad. I don't really like Yuya, but I do quite like Yuya's dad. We don't really get to see him duel, which is a bit of a shame. But, you know, as a provider, he does kind of leave his wife and kid. But, if I recall correctly, that wasn't entirely his choice. But I think we'll leave him in base. Oh boy, I do not recognize this man. He made Yuya. Oh, that is a point. That is some downgrade points. Yuya's dad don't use any special summoning, but still strong as fuck. So based. True. I don't remember who this guy is at all, so I'm just going to leave him there for now. Oh. This... Who is this? I recognize this face. I recognize this guy. I cannot put a name to it. Oh, that's Mr. Heartland. Oh, straight into the bin. Oh, this is Zark's original form. Okay, Zark in original form. Nice young man. I think Zark in like, before he gets all fucked up in like Yuga's body form. Nice young man. Axel. Axel is kinda based. I'm tempted to put him up here just because these two like have like the history, but like Axel has a dual disc that's a gun. He's also an absolute badass. He is one of the lead people trying to save the world when they go to the other dimension. He plays volcanics. He looks like a badass. What negatives do we say about Axel, right? Like he plays a burn deck. Is that the only negative, really? I think we leave Axel there for sure. All right. This is... Coward? Why coward? Zaki boys. This is your only warning. Your only warning. Shay. Oh, what do we do with you? I think wood. I think wood. He's a really cool character. He's in one of the best duels in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! His deck is awesome. He's super iconic. I think we leave him at the bottom of wood. I don't want him, like, too high up in wood, but I think he gets into the wood tier. You will not see a man more dedicated to saving someone he cares about. He did throw a hand when he was in prison. True. I mean, yeah, he would fight for you. He would. He definitely would fight for you. Oh, Jim Crocodile Cook. Oh, Jim. Where do we put Jim? Part of me wants Jim here. Jim is a bro, man. Jim is so cool. His deck is awesome as well. He plays the fossil deck. He has, like, the magic eye going on. He does his best to try and save Jaden when he's the Supreme King. Like, he's a real bro. Like, he's one of those guys that, like, will put himself out there for you, right? He ran after he lost. That's true. That is true. I want Jim in wood. I want Jim in wood. Like, Jim is lovely. Why would you not want Jim? Jim is such a cool character. Yeah, that's what I think as well. Jim's awesome. Who are you? He looks familiar. I've seen his face before. Is he from GX? He's the he's the guy that has yes, I think we're going to put him up here. I do quite like him. And, like, appearance-wise as well, I think he's actually quite a good-looking bloke. I like what he's got going on with the hair. I like the weird beard with, like, the two little spikes coming off it. It's not, like, particularly memorable, but, like, fine. Oh, God. Professor Banner, who becomes... What's his, like, evil name? I don't really want to have him in based. I think we'll put him, like, towards the bottom of Nice Young Man. Like, he's nice. Obviously, I prefer him when he's not in his weird form. You can go straight into the bin, my friend. I can't remember what your name is. Professor Viper or something? Straight in the bin. This is the... He's the Sun Avalon guy? I don't really know much about his character, is my current issue with this guy. What do you mean I like his weird form? Spectre creeps me out in Duel Links. Spectre and Wood? Oh, I don't know about that. I think Spectre can go towards the top of Nice Young Men. I don't know if I would even put Spectre in based. It's the only way? I like Spectre because he's Cook Blue Angel. Doesn't everyone cook Blue Angel in Vrains? All I ever hear is that Blue Angel, like, should win almost all of her games, but loses all of her games. He's a crazy sociopathic that's loyal to Revolver. You are selling it. You are selling it. Spectre basically takes Tree Hugger to a freaky extreme. Alright. Based on what people have said in chat, I am willing to bump Spectre up to based. I also really like the Sun Avalon deck, which is giving him, like, brownie points. I'm just saying. Blue Angel is a bad duelist holding a burn deck in a 4K format. Sahaj. I don't know who this man is at all. I have never seen this man before. I have no idea who he is. The same goes for this guy. I don't know what these masks is on their face. I assume this is all part of an arc I have not seen. So I have very little input for this. So this is Dumont. Right, guys. I'm really bad with Baryons. Is this Dumont? I'm pretty sure this is Dumont. I'm relatively sure that's Dumont, right? Both were one-off villains from Veins. Good. Then they don't matter. They don't matter. Hey, we got a follow from Huhuij. Welcome on in. I think Dumont can go on based. I like Dumont. Alright, this is Don 1000. What the hell do we do with Don 1000? That is a loud follower goal complete. But thank you for completing the follower goal. What do we do with Don 1000? Where the hell do we put Don 1000? Unlock your Zexal characters and Duel Links. Listen, Zach, it's not about unlocking them. I can unlock them and then grind them at the gate and still not give a shit about who they are or remember what they look like. Especially when they're in Baryon form. Don 1000 is simultaneously kind of whack, but also kind of cool. I really don't know what to do with him. This might actually be the hardest one so far. What does chat think? Where does Don 1000 go? Based, he has a 100k monster that if you didn't attack it, you lose the duel. I mean, if we don't have any counter arguments, I'm quite happy to leave that in base, to be honest. Siegfried von Schroeder. I don't... Alright, I'm actually going to put Siegfried in base, right? Alright, let me explain this to you. First off, he's very pretty. He's a very pretty man. Second off, he has a lot of money. That's already quite good. Third off, he's kind of a genius, similar to how Kaiba is. Fourth, he does have a duel the very first time we see him. Bro activates one spell card and ends the game. He OTKs two duelists who are meant to be quite good duelists. He OTKs them. I think, for me, that gets him a spot in based. Not going to be a high up in based, but I think it does get him a spot in based. Yami does not like Siegfried. He manipulates his little brother for his own goals. That's a nope. Ah, that is true. That's not very based of him. I tell you what. I think that is... Alright, we're going to drop him just outside of based. I think that's what we're going to do. We'll drop him just outside of based. I don't want to put him much lower than that. Noah Kaiba. Guys, yeah, I think Noah Kaiba goes in the dumpster. I don't want Noah. This guy was the Thor guy, right? He can just go with his... like, he's kind of the muscular... Like, if this is the pretty Team Ragnarok guy, this is the, like, muscular Team Ragnarok guy. I don't really have too much to say about them. They're all kind of cool. Odeon is very loyal. Probably gonna go in high, nice young man. I don't think Odeon's based. You think Odeon should be based? I like Odeon. I don't know if I think Odeon's based. Bro plays a trap monster deck. He pretends to be Marek. He's very obedient. He's very loyal. But I think that's kind of all he's got going for him. I mean, he does tattoo himself, but like at a solidarity, not really to like help anyone. I don't know who this man is. This guy is a big question mark to me. I mean, Leo is a nice young man. I'm not a huge fan of Leo. You could probably go towards like the bottom of this. Crashed out guy. I don't remember either. Was he the guy who does like the OTK? And like has like the Gatling guy that just like deals 4,000 burn damage in one turn? Darts. Darts is a bit of a like religious fanatic. I don't really like Darts. I like the other Orichalcos guys. Darts himself, I say that, I've got Alistair down here. Darts himself, I'm not super invested in. He's just kind of a bit nuts. But like not in a good way. Darts is a big snake. Well, he serves a big snake, right? This is the younger brother of Declan Akbar. Oh, I've completely forgotten his Japanese name. I like his deck, but he's... as a character, he doesn't really do a lot. Darts is kind of being mind-controlled, but dumpster to me. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel as well. I don't really have much of an attachment to him. Sora. Now, I am a massive Fluffle fan, but I don't think Sora should go in wood. I wouldn't like to be married to Sora. I don't think he would make a good husbando. But he is kind of based. And that hurts me a little bit, because he is probably my favourite Arc 5 character. But I think it's fine. I think it's fine for just being based. I recognise this man. He is very clearly from Vrains. But is this the guy that does the fortune-telling duel, where they have to flip cards over? Is that this guy? Like, I genuinely can't remember who he is. God, this list is getting really big. I guess for now we'll leave him here. Blue Angel's older brother, Akira. That means literally nothing to me, so I have nothing to go by. Gozaburo Kaiba. Also probably going to go in trash. I don't really... He plays... Oh, this is the Tin Dangler? Does that mean he should get a spot? No, probably not. Probably not. Gozaburo trash. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm thinking. The Flip Link deck. Yeah, I've played Tin Dangles before, but... Alright, Jaden. Jaden. I think regular Jaden is like... high-ish nice young man. I think as the show goes on, Jaden gets worse and worse until he becomes combined with Yubel, and then he becomes based again. So, like, if we're just talking about Jaden combined with Yubel, which I don't know if that's a separate character on here, then combined with Yubel, we put him up to based. Not combined with Yubel, I put him down to nice young man. Apparently Poppy Playtime Chapter 1 is free. Ah, that's good to know. That's very good to know. I know it was free originally. I didn't know if it was still free. I have no idea what this blue-looking thing is. I don't know what that is. I'm just going to leave it there and move on. I don't remember this guy's name, but this is the guy from Arc 5 that played Constella or Tellarknight. He plays one of those. He's the Xyz guy from... Realistically, I think he's going in the dumpster. I like his deck. Dipper. There you go, Dipper. Looks like some alien dude, probably from Duelist Capsule, maybe potentially. But I don't like this guy. I think he looks stupid. Whereas the other two characters that are introduced at the same time as him go on to, like, teach their respective people. They become, like, actual characters. He just kind of doesn't do anything. Not a fan, personally. Who's next? Oh, we're getting to some siblings here. Okay, you... Oh, this... I think he kind of goes in based. This is Eugene. Oh, no, Eugene's the... This is the issue with them all having such similar names. This is the sea serpent guy. The guy who just gets shirtless and starts swimming randomly. I think that's kind of based. Not gonna lie. Then his brother, Euro, potentially, is a turbo duelist in a world where turbo duels don't exist. And in my opinion, that's also kind of based. I think that's also a little bit based. Then we get Rinosuke. Rinosuke's a weird one. He's probably just going in Nice Young Man. He's not, like, particularly exciting. Kind of weird to think Sea Serpent's become one of the best decks in Brush for me when he used it. When he used it. Not when he used it. Not when this guy used it. When this guy used it. That's an interesting take. Duty is... Duty's kind of based. Like, Duty solves all problems he ever is faced with in the entire universe by flipping a coin. And that's kind of based. I think Duty's great, personally. I think he's a really great character. God, we still have so many left. What we might have to do is call it here, because we are going to have to end the stream in a minute anyway. So I think we're probably going to leave the tier list here and probably pick this up another time. Because we still have a lot of characters I need to fit in. I think, realistically, the wood tier is basically perfect. I like all of these characters. I think they're all absolutely fantastic. And ironically, how many of these are from shows I haven't seen, right? We got 1, 2... Well, kind of. He was in a show. 1, 2... Only 2. Only 2 characters from shows I have not actually watched, like, their entirety of their show. Which is... Yeah, it just goes to show how popular the character is, right? But... well, since he eventually passed, how about we rank Flame? Personally, I would put him in, based because he already seems like a good friend to Soulburner. The thing is, I don't know what to do with the AI characters, because they're not... Like, they're alive, but they're not, like, people. I suppose, like, Kaizo's here, so you could make the same argument, but... I think either way, that is going to be the end of today's stream. Now, this took so long. I actually did not expect this to take quite as long as this did take. And I thank people who did stick around for this weird yapping stream, just because this is not our, like, usual content, right? Usually we'd actually be playing the game. But we did have a lot of fun. We did enjoy doing this. It is fun just yap and gush about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime series. It is something I really do like doing. This is a bit of a weirder one because we are just going through, like, male characters, which is a bit funny, but I did enjoy doing this. We will be back again on Sunday for Rush Rivals. And other than the Sunday Rush Rivals stream, we'll be back again on Tuesday, where we will probably do a bit more of this and actually play the game. Because we do, at some point, need to actually do the KC Cup. So we might even put this on hold for a week and come back to this later. Just so we don't do, like, multiple streams of this back to back. But it is what it is. Sometimes it's fun to yap about characters. Yeah, it's just nice to just reminisce as well, just about the show that you really, really like. I personally just really like that. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.